Hey, how you doing? This is SEIJIHITO here to bring you another live stream. So the video is mainly about the Africans and the others directly out there. Again, this is probably going to be a short video. I say that a lot, but it just ends up being a little bit longer than what it should. But the video that you see playing in front of you, in a sense, is proof of some of the things that people have stated before, that these Africans and many others will come directly over here in order to specifically try to take the place of Black Americans, either if it is known or unknown. The information is directly out there. And this is another reason why I state to a lot of Black Americans why it is imperative to pay attention, right? Not just I'm about to just block any and all content creators, this, that, and the third. Because again, you're going to miss out on very important information. There's a lot of folks directly out there who have came directly to my platform and told me, like, yo, Seji, you need to stop focusing directly on this. You need to stop giving them airwaves. You need to stop giving them time. You need to stop pushing people directly to their content. In a lot of the instances, you don't even know who that content creator is or what platform they're even on, unless I happen to specify what platform they were specifically on or where the content specifically came directly from. A lot of the times, the content comes directly from X because people like to repost other types of content and all this other type of stuff. But again, just a few of the images that you see here, a lot of these are immigrants. A lot of these individuals are African, right? So to further get into why it is that I'm bringing this up, we're going to go to the very first video with sound so that you can get a full, well-rounded understanding of how it is that these people out here tend to think. You're going to hear an African specifically speaking on the plans that they have to take over in America by way of going through government, by way of representation, by way of overpopulating the area so that it is solely them. You're going to hear this individual specifically speak on the national language, as he stated, which is going to be implemented once Africans, in a sense, fully take over the United States. So I want to just, before I start, I want to give a shout out to Killmonger, Bushido, Hampton, SWAT D, uh, Yasha, the Hermit. What is up, Gail? Who else that we got up in here? And then we also had Robert S in the building as well. So let's take a listen.
Texas soon gonna be African state.
New York, African
Florida gonna be African state. So yeah, African take over, African supremacy. That's how we deal with.
African
We're just
supremacy,
putting our people first. So we're gonna put African
putting
people
their
first.
people
We're
first.
gonna put everybody that goes on African teachings or African or the Pan African. We're gonna put our people first. So it's just now like we're gonna segregate, but we're just gonna put our people first.
Mm.
You know, we are yeah we. Yeah, we're gonna protect how you call it prioritize people who have African descent, people who deal with Africa. So yeah, anybody think with Africa, everybody got any type of connection to Africa, we're gonna prioritize this kind of people so we can move on with the African supremacy.
So let me just pause that real quick. He made a Freudian slip when he was trying to correct himself. He was going to say that he is going to protect his own people and his own interests. But what he swapped up and said is that we're going to prioritize people with connections and this, that, and the third. So this is the talk of, quote unquote, what a lot of people like to reference as the Pan-Africanist or Pan-Africanism, right? How these Africans are like, yo, we got a plan for everybody, but we're going to be the ones to implement it and we're going to push ourselves first. And then we're going to have the trickle down effect when it deals with those who align with us, who side with us, who agree with us, who help us push ourselves forward. Again, everything that this man is speaking on has zero to do with Black Americans, even though Black Americans are the ones that established everything so that he, as an African, can come directly over here. And so he and his people and his family can come directly over here. This is the disrespect that Black Americans receive and get on a daily when it deals with Africans in the way that they speak, in the way that they talk. And it's funny that whenever Black Americans say that, hey, we're going to prioritize ourselves, we're going to worry about ourselves, we're going to delineate and make sure that we only have energy for ourselves and all this other type of stuff, and everybody else can fend for themselves. It's amazing that whenever Black Americans speak in such a way, we're racist, we're xenophobic, we're anti-Caribbean, anti-African, we're colorist, and all this. We have a hatred for everybody, right? But magically, when it deals with Africans saying this to Black Americans, oh, where's all that? Where's all that xenophobia, guys? Where's all of that so-called hatred? Where's the so-called the Africans hate the Black Americans, and the Africans hate every magically everybody's silent though, right? Ain't nobody trying to make no theories or no think pieces directly on that, right? So, like I said, and I keep saying this time and time again, there is an agenda going on when it deals with how it is that people want to dance around and how they want to talk about and mention Black Americans, and how specifically these groups want to portray Black Americans as this type of negative, while standing on that, again, standing on Black Americans one way or another, and propelling and uplifting and stabilizing their own group, because they can't do this by themselves. They can't create their own platforms. They can't create their own noise. They can't create their own movement without having something to step on and off of first. Let's continue.
And African takeover. African supremacy means everything African, everything like fully African, fully from whatever thing we do, from the clothes brand, everything we put on, they're gonna be fully African, made African, fully made by African people, because we African people influence the culture of this planet anyway. Because from the hair we put, everybody try and make African hair, so we try and make African clothes. Everything, not just food, everything. Speak African languages, like everything. Have sex
What's
with
going to be the
African men.
universal African language?
You say what now?
I said, what's going to be the universal African language we all going to speak?
Swahili. That's
We
the
all going to
official
speak
African
Swahili.
Union language. The official African Union language.
Is it?
Bronx people, the black people in the Bronx, is gonna be most especially gonna be African, and then the Latinos, the minorities. This the two minorities over in Bronx. Latinos and Africans, and maybe some Caribbeans. You understand? That's what I'm saying. The majority black people in New York is going to be African. That's what I'm telling you. So New York is going to be fully African. That even Detroit too.
Oh,
We
okay,
coming
okay.
over
So
there. So
can you explain to the people when you say
so yeah.
African gonna be an African state? Can you explain to that? Do you are you talking population wise, or are you talking that?
Population, culture,
Oh, okay,
influence.
okay, yeah. No, nobody's worried about that. We when you say
Okay,
an African
yeah. So
state,
that's what I'm trying to
yeah,
explain. Like,
nobody's worried about that.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. So, population, culture, influence, politics. Like I told you, Minnesota, that's fully African. Like, there's no doubt.
So I saw somebody basically mention how would Africans, in a sense, take over, right? So the one thing that I wanted to showcase again was this. Hold on, let me just go back. Let me go back so y'all can clearly see it. Is this image here, right? So above you have some of the areas of which social media wise, where Africans and many others are basically taking over, have their own spaces, right? I'm talking about millions upon millions of people that are drawn directly to those platforms and interact with those platforms. And we know how it is that Black Americans are deemed and, in a sense, seen. One of the platforms, as you can see directly in front of you, World Star Hip Hop, Q was the main person. This was the guy's name originally when it dealt with, who created it. His name was Q, but then you saw his actual name directly up there, right? He is not Black American. And what was World Star, and still to this day, what is World Star Hip Hop known for? It is known for giving out information, disseminating information that specifically shows Black Americans in a negative light. World Star Hip Hop, at pretty much no point in time, has really shown Black Americans in a good, great, and or positive light. The main thing that it has been allowed to do is to showcase the utmost negative and the ugliest aspects, right? When it deals with those who are in the Black community committing those types of acts. Doesn't matter if it's arguments, doesn't matter if it's fights, doesn't matter if it's shootouts, doesn't matter whatever it is. They make sure to put the most terrible things directly out there, right? And the same thing can be said when it deals with the other television or shows that they got out there, when the real housewives of Atlanta or whatnot or whatever. It's the exact same thing, and people don't even understand the people behind it and who created it. Like I said before, let me go back to one of the other talking points that I brought up before. The red balloon pop, that was created by Africans. You would think that a creation that was done by Africans would be centered around African people in order to grow, in order to move. But that just was not the case. The Africans really weren't added in up until later. And you knew that they were African. They stood on that. They outwardly spoke that, oh, I'm this, that, and the third. I'm a proud this, that, and the whatnot or whatever. Some of them would show up in some type of, wares of which you could see their flag, right? They would proudly just be that. But in general, the red balloon pop start off as what? Black American men, Black American women, quote unquote, looking for love, looking for a significant other, a date, or whatever it is that you want to call it. How did it become popular? Because people started to see the back and forth between Black men and Black women on social media. And because of that, it blew up. It wasn't because they were looking at Black men and Black women having a very positive interaction, a very positive conversation, a very loving and nurturing conversation. It was because of the back and forth, because of the disagreements. And then you know what happened with the red balloon pop? It got so popular to the point, again, an African creation, of which that it got a Netflix show. And then what happened when you started seeing that Netflix show? Magically, you started seeing a variety of people up there that weren't melanated at all. They just had a full-on mixture up there, right? So like I said before, in order for them to really make it, in order for them to really platform, Black Americans have to be there in some way, shape, or form. Because if we weren't needed, they would have been started something like this over naturally in Africa, and it just would have been popular just specifically over there. You wouldn't have needed Black Americans. You wouldn't have needed Black American influence. You wouldn't need Africans who want to masquerade. And a lot of Africans, if you go and watch videos online, they have two different names. They have, quote unquote, their Americanized name, and then they have their natural African name that was given to them by their parents. I don't have dual names. I don't have two different names. I don't even know what that's even like. I just have one name. Somebody, again, you have to explain that to me, because that don't make any sense. To me, that seems as though that you're not really proud of who it is specifically that you are. To me, that seems as though that you're trying to hide who it is that you really are. And like I said, I don't like when people are disingenuous. I don't like when people are trying to specifically hide their nationality. That doesn't make any type of sense. You want to be here in the United States? United States is a melting pot. There's no reason to sit up there and try to Americanize your name. You got like 12 letters directly in your name, but you want to sit up there and call yourself Sarah. What are we doing? That's not how that works. You can decide to try to shorten your actual name somewhere in there where it's like it's still a part of your name and it makes sense and it's still a part of your culture, heritage, all the other type of stuff. Why are you westernizing your name? That doesn't make any sense. You're African. Why are you trying to hide? Right? But like I said before, a lot of the content that people tend to look at, again, you have people that started these platforms in order to specifically use Black Americans in a negative way so that they can profit and monetize. And I saw quite a few comments, and I made sure to highlight some of those comments, like the one that you see directly above you, where people wanted to say that, it's paranoia at its finest. It's just paranoia, delusion. No, it's not. You are listening to an African stating what it is that they have plans to do in the United States. I'm showing you those who are African and many others who have made platforms in order to negatively, number one, monetize, number two, negatively impact the Black community, and number three, to further push their family and their groups of people so that they can make a compare and contrast. Right. So those Africans and many others that create these platforms, they can look and show people like, okay, well, I made this platform and look at what all these Black Americans do. right? On my platform that I could create all these other videos could be directly up here, but look at what they decide to put out there. Look at what they film. Look at how they portray themselves, right? And then they'll go to the other side, be like, oh, I'm Nigerian, I'm Etrian, I'm Kenyan, I'm this. Look at how my people dress. Look at how much culture we. Look at our tradition. Look at how our women do this. Look at how our men do this. Look at how our family. Like I said before, people don't understand the type of system that is set in place and how it is that is working, because you have so many people out here that's like, oh no, just block all the Africans, just block all the people that got something negative to say about Black Americans, as if that's going to go away. Like I told y'all before, a long time ago, before any of us were even born, we had Black towns and cities in the United States. Black people are like, all right, y'all racist, we obviously can't live amongst you, no problem, we're going to create our own. We just want to be seen as equal, but at the same time, we want to be separate, just like y'all want to be separate. That's cool, no problem. You know what happened when Black people built their own towns and cities and thought that ignoring the largest problem out there was going to secure their safety, their family, their lives, and everything? They lost everything. It was erased. It was almost like the Mayan calendar. What do we have left of the Mayans? Pretty much nothing. What do we really know about the Mayans? Realistically, pretty much nothing. We don't really have a lot to go directly after. So when you look at those Black towns and cities in the United States, what artifacts do we really have left? Nothing. What names do we really know of? Not really much. We're still uncovering burial sites, grave sites, of which were paved over, of which were destroyed, in order to get away from the history of what was. So the exact same thing that Black Americans did then, and how it is that everything and information was destroyed, is going to be the exact same thing that's going to sit up there and happen now, but it's going to be on a way worse scale, because it's not just in the United States. We now got the whole world that can sit up there and watch. We got the whole world that can sit up there and mimic. The whole world that can sit up there and copy. The whole world that can sit up there and come together and have the exact same talking point and scope directly in on Black Americans. And that's clearly what I'm looking at, what I'm watching, and what I'm seeing. And as I stated before, and I'm also, like I said, I try to be equal when I state a lot of these things. Amongst those who come directly to my platform and tell me to ignore the Africans and stop giving them spaces and things of that nature, right? You got Black Americans directly in that. But also at the same time, I got to start really questioning, a lot of y'all might be ops. A lot of y'all really might be the Africans and the other immigrants of which that I've been talking about. But again, you're trying to hide behind anonymity because of online. And you're trying to portray yourself as a Black American to make it seem as though that you're on a certain type of side, but really you're a double agent the whole time. So like I said, I got to start questioning a lot of things, because none of the people who come up here and always want to disagree, they don't got no proof of nothing at all. Like I said before, people have seen me before. I've done live streams before. Right? Good, bad, the ugly. I could have just woke up still doing a live stream. Face and everything is directly out there. A lot of these people who happen to talk, I ain't never seen y'all before. A lot of us who are part of this platform, we ain't never seen y'all before. We ain't never seen your faces, nothing like that. We don't even know where it is that y'all from. So like I said, it's a little bit weird and odd to me when it is that you got a lot of people pulling up in abundance, more time at a unusual rate, of all stating the exact same thing. And normally on my platform, a lot of people don't tend to, really agree on a lot of things. People pretty much got their own opinions and, different things of that nature. But to see in unison fields of people pull up to the scene, pretty much parroting and saying the exact same thing, it's a little bit weird to me. And it's only been specifically taking place when I've been covering this type of content. Makes me wonder. Because again, when I've covered content dealing with Hispanics, nobody was saying nothing. When I was covering content dealing with white folks and Europeans, nobody was saying anything. Again, to me, it's a little bit weird how it is in unison that a lot of folks want to come directly up here and start stating this. But let's get back to the rest of the video here. Let me just get this back up.
Yeah. Speak African language, eat African food, dress like African.
Ain't nobody, no, America's not gonna push nobody to talk that motherfucking who got the
We're
Washington.
going to we don't need America to do that for us. We will do that part.
They definitely ain't gonna have citizens.
That part.
The United States is not gonna have their citizens running around speaking those Swahili.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do it.
You might do that in your own
Don't mind about the
community.
USA.
In your
Don't mind about the
African
USA.
neighborhood, y'all might speak
It's us. We're gonna do
Swahili,
that.
but your ass ain't going out on the road with no motherfucking police officers.
We are going to do that right there.
Trump is not going to go
out there
I
motherfuckers
promise
speaking
you.
Swahili to them goddamn white officers. They're gonna bust your ass in the head.
We're gonna do that.
They're gonna bust y'all in the motherfucking head to the white meat. You go out there speaking some Swahili.
Yeah,
you go out there
learn the
speaking
Swahili language
if you want
anybody.
to.
I'm telling you, the white people gonna be the first people to learn the Swahili language. They over here coming Africa learn the Swahili language anyway. They're implementing Swahili languages almost on the colleges. You go on the colleges. I know you never been to colleges. Most of the colleges right now they're implementing Swahili language. I'm telling you, most of the colleges right now they're implementing Swahili language.
Believe it when we see it.
I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Swahili language is going to be compulsory, just like Spanish was when you was in high school. They were same way you were taking Spanish in high school. Swahili is compulsory.
They plan on taking over.
We coming fully force. Listen, we start with Minnesota. Minnesota is fully African from culture, influence, dressing, everything, politics. Most of the politicians in Minnesota fully African. We have African mayor.
Ain't nobody worried about no Minnesota.
Whatever, man, you sit over there.
Right. So it's a little bit crazy to me, like I said before, when you can have these types of conversations and videos directly out there, and you have people out there that's like, nah, we need to sit up there and ignore it. We don't need to sit up there and give them attention, because the moment of time that we give them attention, we're giving them money. Well, how well has that went for ignoring white folks, right? Black people were supposed to be ignoring white folks and the racism. How well has that gone? How much bankruptcy have we caused with the United States out of everything that they've done to the black community, right? And us boycotting and ignoring white. How much damage have we really done, just in general? Just sitting up here saying. And again, it's done more harm than good, because as I go out and I happen to look or peer directly into videos online, there's tons of individuals out there that want to make it seem that, racism doesn't exist. It's a made-up fairy tale by Black Americans. They're just, living directly in the past of which they never lived, or, somebody that, they know might have experienced, something, but that's not indicative of that's just that and third and whatnot or whatever. But they themselves have not actually. This is the type of nonsense that you start getting. They want to make sure to make people think that, racism when it deals with police brutality doesn't exist. Racism in the medical field, it doesn't exist. Racism in government, it doesn't exist. Racism when it deals with businesses doesn't exist. Racism that deals with the school system doesn't exist. Even within the court system, it doesn't exist. They want to make it seem as though America is just this blanketed, equally created place of which everybody is here living hunky-dory like Wally Cleaver and Leave It to Beaver. That's just not the case. That is just, matter of fact, let me just try to pull the point a little bit more home by going to, let me see if I can get I want to make sure I get the right clip here. Let me see. Hold on, give me a quick second. That's not it. Go to the next one, because we got a few videos up here where this nonsense. Okay, so we'll go to this one.
Is happening,
right? So I want y'all to pay attention. Matter of fact, I'm going to play both videos. Let me go back, and I think it's 901. Yeah. Okay.
So I was scrolling on Twitter a couple of days.
So again, staying on the whole theme of dealing with Africans. If you don't know who these two people are, let me inform you. Charlie Kirk, who is a white conservative Republican, he's always had some talking points, specifically dealing with Black Americans, the Black community, the crime, shootings, and all this other type of stuff, right? Even though that really has no impact on his community at all. Really, he should be worried about the ODing. He should be worried about the narcotics going through a lot of white cities. He should be talking about the Appalachians, which are in tremendously bad conditions, more worse than a lot of Black communities directly out here, which is crazy. You don't really hear any conservative Republicans talking about the Appalachians, which is crazy to me. Crazy work, 100%. Again, white people just all up and through there, but yet the government and police and conservative Republicans don't got nothing to say about that, and especially Black conservatives, they ain't going to even touch that with a 10-foot pole. And especially, I can tell you, they're not even going to go up there at all either, because they know better, right? So you got Charlie Kirk directly to the right of your screen, and then the young person that you see who is draped in a, well, I'm not too sure about those jogging pants there. He must have went to like the Gap or something, like Old Navy. I don't know what's happened with the rest of that there. That just, the ensemble looks crazy. But yeah, you can't tell that he's African, but he's African, right? And this is somebody that Amanda Seales had debated. So we're going to listen to, right? Because everybody wanted to say, oh, just ignore the Africans, and many others who want to say stuff that's negative about Black Americans. I want to show you what happens when you ignore and you don't want to give pushback. We're going to listen to him on one Caucasian platform, and then we're going to go back and listen to what he stated, during the whole thing dealing with, Jubilee and yada, yada, yada. So let's take a listen.
So I was scrolling on Twitter a couple of days ago, and I came across this episode of Jubilee. It's this kind of crazy website where 20 people scream at one person. And there was a activist by the name of Amanda Seales, and she was debating 20 Black conservatives. Her position was what?
Her position essentially was that reparations were just and necessary. I mean, she's also now came out and said that Black on Black crime does not exist, and it's not something of any relevancy whatsoever. And essentially that, Black people are being oppressed by white people, and this is why these sort of disparities exist.
What was your biggest opposition to what she said? Are you naturally very conservative?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just naturally opposed to these handouts who really isn't going to fix any problem. Like I told her, if you hand every Black person a $50,000 check in America, it isn't really going to increase the median household income by any significant amount in the next decade or two. It's not really going to change anything significantly. What we need to do is bring back the Black nuclear family, stop the issues in reference to violence, in reference to gang crime, and then we can see some improvements. But this idea that handing people a check is going to change something radically, it's humorous. She just didn't want to debate me. Like there was a point where, like I said, redlining didn't exist to the extent that, they tried to act as if it existed, and she didn't want to debate me right there. She kept threatening to quit debating a lot of people, like multiple different times during the break. I mean, it was insane. But I just thought, like, what is going on with this woman? Like, is she okay in the head? Like, I don't know how that's a normal thing you can say to someone. Like, we're having a conversation, and someone makes an argument, and you are like, speak to me as if I was your mama. Like, well, who says things like that? It's not a normal thing to say.
So we heard that, right? We heard what he had to state, and what took place. And I want to note too, when it deals with a lot of these Africans or these immigrants that are highly conservative, they always say that the Black on Black crime and the out of child's wedlock, out of children out of wedlock, and the lack of Black fathers, and right, they always have these main staple points, right? But nobody pays attention to how the exact same thing that they're parroting and they're copying, they got directly from white folks. But they want to make it seem as though that they're critical thinkers and that they're the ones that just came up with these theories and ideas, and they're just putting them up there as a Black face to, in a sense, be a representative and to put a reflection directly out there from another side. It's the most craziest thing, right? But none of these people, you never hear them mention anything about self-love. You never hear them talking about knowledge of self, right? Value, Right. You never actually hear them, in a sense, speaking on solutions. They're like, we just need to bring back the nuclear family. I've been hearing white folks sit up there talk about the nuclear family since forever. So I'm like, when did you really care? Like, when was you really calling that the nuclear family? It was just a family, right? It just is what it is. It was like a man and a woman together raising their kids. That's it. End of story. But now you're using the main title, the main branding, and you're trying to put that directly onto the black side again. Nowhere in any household that I've ever been in has anybody ever said that, yo, we're the nuclear family. No, that's just again, what I'm saying is it's tiring that you got people coming out here talking about us, in a sense, trying to represent us by proximity, of which they can. That kid is from Angola. I can't even tell you where Angola is on the map at this moment in time, because I didn't even care to even know. I didn't even care to inform myself, just to sit up there and be honest. That's how much of nowhere Angola is. Nobody, whenever people mention Africa, nobody is talking about Angola. Right? I didn't even know you even had Angolans here. Like, I don't even know what the population specifically even is. And then on top of that, he wanted to have this conversation. So let's just go directly over to the part dealing with Amanda Seales, shall we? So just take a listen to this.
I think growing, understanding the real problems, not going out and trying to protest against. You guys don't ever do this. KTS.
You
Dre,
guys don't ever do that.
KTS,
Who is
Dre,
you guys?
Members of the black community that want to hold people accountable, especially black people. So KTS Dre was shot 60 times outside of Cook County, Chicago. How many BLM members came out? You earlier said BLM
Stop
is about
referring
police.
to me as you guys.
Okay, that's fine. So, for example, we had a really good example of this where it's not a police, because I remember you said...
Where are you from?
Where am I from? What do you mean by that? Like, what state am I from? Where was I born?
Where do you live right now?
I live in Florida. I was born in Angola, though. I was born in sub-Saharan Africa, okay?
Where did you grow up for most of your time?
In Maine. I lived in North America.
In Maine?
Yes.
And what is the population of black people in the town that you're from?
It's really extremely low, but I grew up around black people, and there was a black community where I lived.
And that black community that you lived in, did they teach you about black history in the United States? Like, are your parents black American?
Yeah, my mom is black. My father is black.
No, I'm asking, were they born in the United States?
No, because I wasn't born there.
Oh, so you guys are all from Angola?
Yes, but
so we heard that, right? So realistically, his talking points mean nothing. If you are an African and you're here in the United States, don't speak on black Americans. What you need to be doing, and this is when I specifically am going to state that what somebody needs to do, which is mind their own business. If you're from Angola, mind Angolan business. You're a guest. If you're from Kenya, mind Kenyan business. You're a guest. If you are from Nigeria, mind Nigerian business. You are a guest. And wherever else that you may come from all these other places, mind your business. Because every single time I happen to see y'all in these spaces, you guys always pull up to the scene and you're doing this with white folks. Every single time. And he made a comment directly online basically stating, because somebody was like, yo, why don't you sit up there and smile more? He was like, I don't like to smile in pictures. Like, dude, you looking real homely. Like, this is looking like you're an adopted child at this moment in time. It's like you got all of your clothes from a thrift store. And then Charlie Kirk, he got on basic clothes, but his basic clothes look better than yours. Like, I don't understand. Like, yo, what is it up? Like, for the Africans out here, what is up with y'all? Every single time y'all get around other people that don't look like you, you want to look the worst of the worst. You want to look as basic as possible. Y'all always get around other people and you start downplaying all. Like, where's all of your culture at, right? You're Angolan. Where is your Angolan swag? Where is the Angolan vibe? Where is the Angolan traditional garb? Like, where is all of the cover? I don't see nothing here. If I didn't know anything about this kid, I would think that he was raised by white folks in Maine and he was adopted. But you said both of your parents are Angolan. Dog, what is happening here? Like, it's like this just, I see this every, like, what's the girl's name from Queen and Slim? I can't think of her name, but she was with the white dude from Dawson's Crib, right? I'm sorry, Dawson's Creek. she was with him and Jolie, whatever her name is. She was with that dude and had a child. And they had a child because of a one-night stand, because they kept doing this one-night stand, hit and runs. And then they was like, well, instead of us just doing these, one-night stands whenever we see each other, let's get married so we can do this all the time. That was literally the story. That's how they got married. And every single time you just so happen to see this woman on social media next to the guy from Dawson's Creek, she was always looking crazy. She was like always looking kind of like undone. She might have been like half naked or something. Like, it was just looking ridiculous. And then the next person after they broke up and got a divorce, you know who came along to sit up there and be with the exact same guy? Lupita Nyong'o. And I was like, yo, I love Lupita. Lupita's like, oh man, she looked beautiful, this, that, and the third. And then she decided to, right after the African woman left, she decided to be right up there with him. I'm like, geez, I guess these dudes is out here just winning. I guess it's just that easy. I guess it's just that easy. But like I said before, for some odd reason, whenever it deals with a lot of these immigrants and they're side by side with somebody else who is not black, they always look real homely, real homeless. They look like they got picked up off the streets. Like Charlie Kirk looked like he just helping out some black homeless kid in America. The optics on this is so insane. And this is why I know that he's smiling. He loves taking pictures like this, because he knows how it makes him look in comparison to how they look. And then the idiot there doesn't even understand that they're using your image in order to try to make black Americans look and fit. Brother, it's so tiring. It's so tiring because you got to try to explain this to like a lot of people so many different times, so many different types of ways. It's as if you are just hitting your head against a wall. It's crazy. It's so crazy. It is 100% crazy. But also for the folks out there that want to sit up there and say, like this person up here, they said, you perpetuate racism by consistently playing the by playing the victim of it or in it, whatever, right? So I wanted to sit up there and look directly at this image, right? Because we're perpetual victims, right? No problem. So it says, yes, this is just an example. It says, yes, the water in some black communities in the United States has been poisoned by contaminants like lead and PFAS, forever chemicals, due to historical underinvestment in infrastructure and the disproportionate placement of polluting industries near their communities. Now, remember, those industries were specifically placed there in order to stave off the growth of the black population, right? In order to have that in a decline. Again, everything is a plan. Next, they said, near the communities leading to serious health issues. High-profile cases in Flint, Michigan, Jackson, Mississippi have highlighted the environmental injustice, but the problem is widespread, affecting many black communities with inadequate water systems and a higher risk of exposure to unsafe water. Next, they have key points. They said lead in communities like Flint, lead from aging pipes leached into drinking water, leading exposure can cause permanent damage to developing fetuses, nervous systems, leading to learning and behavioral disabilities, and also contribute to fertility problems, premature birth, and miscarriages in women. So as I've done videos directly on this platform, specifically speaking on this injustice, when it dealt with Flint, I've done a variety of videos directly there. And I specifically spoke on the fact of you had black people up there getting Legionnaire's disease. I'm like, wasn't that like somewhere like way back in the day before any of us existed, like Legionnaire's disease? I'm like, who's getting that right now? That's like trying to find people that's sitting up there getting like polio or something like that. Like who's getting that right now? Scarlet fever or whatnot. Like, didn't we eradicate a lot of these things? Like, they should no longer exist, but yet they do, because a lot of these industries and these companies in which black people do not have the control. We do not have the money, right? We don't have the power to specifically push them directly out, right? The United States government and our local governments allow these industries and these businesses and these buildings to establish themselves in or near black communities so that they can destabilize them one way or another and cause a negative detrimental effect. But yet you got people up here like this clown and many others that show up to the comment section that want to sit, oh, blacks, you just want to be victims. You just want to be victims. Nothing is happening to you. Nobody's doing this to you. So you mean to tell me that the businesses that are opening up these mass factories that pull in millions upon millions upon tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. You mean to tell me that the black community is doing that? The black community got control over those facilities? We're poisoning ourselves. We're putting lead in our own waters, right? We're making sure to have a decline in our own birth rate. We're causing harm to our own people by way of the, come on now. Come on. Next, we have PFAs or well, I'm not even going to mess up that one, but they said forever chemicals have been found in high concentrations in the water of communities of color. PFAS exposure is linked to decreased fertility, pregnancy-induced hypertension, and what is that? Preeclampsia. Right. Next, we got why black communities are more affected, systematic racism, and environmental justice. Decades of systemic racism have resulted in disproportionate placement of polluting industries, landfills, military bases, and airports near communities of color. Inadequate infrastructure. Black communities often rely on older, failing water systems that are more prone to contamination and have a history of not meeting safety standards. Lack of resources. Communities with higher percentages of people of color are more likely to have water systems that violate the Safe Drinking Water Act and struggle to return to compliance after violations. And then they give you, further examples such as affected communities like Flint, Michigan, Jackson, Mississippi, and many other areas. They said that other areas high concentrations of lead and PFAs have been documented in black communities across the states like Louisiana, North Carolina, Alabama, Texas, and the city of Benton Harbor, Michigan. So like I said before, for any of y'all that want to pull up to the scene and y'all want to make it seem as though that black people are just portraying themselves as victims, I know that you guys can never be honest about anything, right? The only time that you guys would actually focus in and actually care about anything like this is if it specifically started to affect the white community. And then once it affects the white community, y'all like, yo, we have to do something. Something needs to be done, right? Like the fent crisis that y'all got going on, right? The opioid crisis that y'all got going on. Once all of the drugs started really affecting y'all wanted to really start hammering home to the legislator. Y'all want to start getting out your books, start writing emails. Y'all want to start, using carrier pigeon. Y'all wanted to put rope on a tin can. However it is that y'all can get in contact with Washington, y'all made sure to let those legislators know that, yo, you got to do something. You're white. I'm white. This is your community. This could be your family. Matter of fact, your kids are suffering and going through it right now. We need to do something right now. I voted for you. I put you in this place. Do something before I make sure that you won't be able to do anything later on, because we'll get you up out of that seat and out of office and replace you with somebody who can. That's what white folks like to sit up there and do whenever it deals with their problems, when it deals with their situations. Magically, when it's them, magically they care. They want to sit up there and bust a move. When it happens to everybody else and everybody else is trying to give a warning signal, aka black Americans, nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to pay attention. Nobody actually cares. But then within the same token, a lot of those folks always want to pull up and say that, oh, well, y'all don't actually care about your own situations. Look at the drug. Who do you think is bringing awareness to this? Do you think that it's y'all immigrants or whoever that's bringing awareness to it? Do you think that is white folks bringing awareness? No, we are, because we know specifically what's happening and going on in our own communities. This is why we got grassroots programs and other people that are working there to try to curb a lot of the things that are taking place. But again, like I said before, do you think that any people like Ryan, any other Caucasians directly out there, any other immigrants, do you think that any of the Africans, right? Do you think any of the other people that always got smoke for black Americans, do you think that they're going to go state by state in these black communities and highlight the group work or the grassroots work that any of those people collectively are doing? No, they're not. They're going to get online. They're going to make money. They're going to monetize. They're going to browbeat. They're going to have all types of disdain. They're going to put all types of negativity out there to make it seem as though, and to make sure to generalize that this is what the black community, this is what those black folks out there like to do. This is why every single time you see any of these quote unquote melanated conservatives that pop up, one of the main groups that they love talking about is BLM. The only people that was really complaining about BLM was white folks. For whatever reason, the black conservatives, if you can call them that, wanted to pull up out of nowhere and it's like, oh yeah, we sit up there and agree with our white constituents that, yeah, BLM is this, that, and the third, and da-da-da-da and whatnot or whatever. I'm like, y'all didn't know nothing about nothing up until anything happened. Y'all ain't know nothing about nothing. And before BLM, people didn't have a name for stuff, so they were just going by the names of the families that were coming out there and speaking on the police brutality. And then y'all specifically wanted to target and talk about those black families. It just got better for everybody when you could just put a branding or a name to something so that y'all could just repeatedly just keep saying it, right? And just put a huge amount of negativity on it versus focusing on what it originally was there and what the original meaning specifically meant. It's the exact same thing when people want to consistently use the word woke. You see how white folks sat up there and killed that. Woke, 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 woke. Anything that was woke was negative. Anything that was woke was negative. So it's like now mentally they got everybody in a place where it's like if you consider yourself woke, you're basically unintelligent and stupid. Nobody wants to be associated with that word woke. So now what are you gonna use? You're going to go with what a lot of these conservative Republicans like to say, oh, I'm a critical thinker. I'm this, that. That is the only terminology and wording that they have where they've tried to put or enable some type of positive context directly to. Anything else that was deemed as a positive for anybody that may be an individual educating themselves on different types of facts or different types of information or numbers. Oh, no. You guys are all woke. You don't know what it is that you're talking about. I, as a critical thinking conservative Republican, have all the information and know what it is that I'm talking about because you're emotional. I'm not. Like I said, it's crazy work. It is diabolical how a lot of these things tend to take place and tend to happen. And it's happening in 4K and still people are not even paying attention. But at the same time, people quote unquote say what? Oh, I want to sit up there and block the tethers. I want to block the immigrants, and I'm not trying to hear nothing specifically, from them. I'm not going to monetize them or give them money. The moment in time that you allow them to proliferate in masses, it's going to be over. There's going to be nothing that a Black American collective will be able to do to calm down that voice, to give any types of form of resistance if you're not able to show up and put up resistance at this moment in time. The moment in which this is from a content creator's perspective, the moment in which you feel that you don't want to do something is the moment in time that you need to do something. A lot of people aren't going to understand that up until they're meant to understand it. Some people know it to the point where it's like, all right, let me just sit up there and get to work. Other people, they're going to learn at the end of the road when it's like looking back some years or whatnot or whatever, and they're looking at how far things were able to go. And they understand throughout all of those many walks that they were walking side by side with that problem, but they still decided to ignore it. The problem got bigger and bigger as they kept walking. So now you got to deal with an insurmountable issue of that. It's a Herculean task and feat to try to, throw it up a hill, and you can't sit up there and do it. And now you're looking around for help. There's nobody to help you. There's nobody to help you. Don't sit up there and look around at the end, because again, there's going to be nobody to help you. A lot of y'all directly out here are going to be left to the wayside. And the best way I can sit up there and put it, a lot of people in the Black community out here are going to be left to die, because I guess that was your birthright. I guess that was your purpose. Because some of y'all out here don't want to sit up there and move. Y'all don't want to sit up there and do nothing. A lot of folks directly out here want to ignore. They want to walk past problems and situations. I guess you're going to be watching a lot of your friends, a lot of your family members, and a lot of your kids sitting up there perishing because of your ignorance, your willful ignorance, the ways in which you decide to sit up there and move, and you think that is okay up until it hits home. And like I said, for years, I've been trying to sit up there and tell people, don't ignore stuff and wait up until it hits the front door in order to have a type or a certain type of reaction, because by that time it's too late. Just let them in. Just sit up there and let them in, and y'all just sit up there and have a seat and let them just burn down the whole house. Like I said, a lot of y'all are going to end up learning the hard way of allowing a lot of these fools, a lot of these people out here to sit up there and talk, and y'all not giving no type of resistance. The exact same way a lot of Black folks are learning right now that if they didn't want to sit up there and get up and support any of the type of movements or organizations that were directly out there where they were trying to impact the community in a positive way, y'all going to end up losing a lot of y'all kids. Matter of fact, some of y'all just not going to be here. Friends, family, kids, co-workers, there's going to be a lot of funerals you're going to sit up there and be crying directly at. Like I said, it gets to a certain point, I don't know what else to sit up there and tell y'all, because it's only so long that people can sit up there and try to dance and talk very much nice to people to try to get a point directly across. And it's at the point in time where you just got to sit up there. If people get mad, it just is what it is. Y'all just gonna die. I don't know what else. Get ready to bury your kids. Get ready to sit up there and bury your wives and your husbands. Get ready to sit up there and bury your newborns, your dog, whoever else. Make sure you got a nice gravesite in your backyard. The whole family is going to be directly up there. Just like we lost a lot of people back in the 1900s and so on and so on, because we decided to ignore racism. We decided to, in a sense, ignore the systematic oppression. We thought that if we just solely separated ourselves from white folks, that everything was going to be safe and sound, it was going to be good. And then they sat up there and showed us otherwise. They came directly into our towns, directly into our communities, burned things down to ash, and not even a phoenix could rise back from that. And again, what do we have? Nothing. We got stories. We got little news clips. We got barely any photos of any of those individuals from that time period, because everything was erased. In the same way y'all watched and allowed things to be erased then, you're going to watch and allow it to happen again. And you're only going to have yourselves to blame. But anyways, let's go to the next video.
Is an accurate description of disrespect. This is what it looks like to be disrespected. Mind you, this is in US. This is in US. And I know for a fact that there's 4 countries on this list that make way too much money in tourism for this to be how much money that you are paying the people. There's no way. There's no way. So I got to Google. I went to Google and I looked it up. And we're gonna go in order, right?
Hold on, let me pause this. Let me just pause this. Who's this? We got you seem to be a Caucasian man, right? A Caucanite. Let me let you know something. For the white folks directly out there, if the United States ever poisoned you, let me just honestly sit up there and tell you that I don't care. Let me just tell you, if the United States gave you cancer, I don't care. If the United States specifically targeted your group and your community, I don't care. You know why I don't care? Is because you allowed the attacks of your people, your ancestors, for so long on this land. Why would you think that I would have any type of compassion or empathy, right? You want to sit up there and say, get over yourselves, PG&E, pump poison into the groundwater for decades and hid it from everyone. But y'all white folks are in control of that, right? Because black people don't own, black people, correct me if I'm wrong, black people don't own PG&E, right? Y'all white dollars go directly to that. Governments, our government, right? It enables a lot of these corporations to do what it is that they want to do. So basically, you're telling me to, not in a sense cry about it because you allowed your own people to poison you. You know how stupid that sounds? That just sounds like you don't want nobody to bring up an issue or have a reason to fight for it because you didn't. That sounds like a personal problem. You might want to take that up with the other white people specifically in your community. You might want to actually, instead of trying to tell other people to not talk about it, you should actually do something, right? Isn't that what normally white people do? Y'all get out there, y'all fight, y'all do this, y'all do, right? Ain't that how y'all said that y'all founded this country? Y'all fought for it, right? Y'all stabilized it, you modernized it, right? You trained and got rid of the savages to make America what it is. And I'm sitting up there looking at you right now talking about, oh, but us white folks, we're victims too. It's not just you black people. The government is not just after people for a specific color, they're after everybody because we're all American. This is the type of shit that I be talking about when y'all pull up to the scene and y'all be trying to all lives matter some shit and y'all don't got no business sitting up there talking. Because again, it was your people that specific. Let me go back to this information again, because obviously you must be deaf, dumb, and stupid. I just gave you information that specifically stated that the white governments during the time of which they were in power were the ones that are poisoning the black collective, the black communities, the black towns, the black cities. And you want to sit up there and try to all lives matter this. This is why at no point in time will black people actually band together with white folks? Because for whatever reason, y'all don't actually want to fix anything. You're like, well, it happened to us and it happened to you. Just sit up there and let it be. Nah, we're not about to sit up there and do that. That sounds like a personal problem on your end. Like I said, if y'all got cancer, y'all got poison, you lost loved ones, that is specifically directly on you. That is a personal problem. I don't have nothing to do with that. I don't got nothing to do. Matter of fact, how about this one? Right? Since you're saying that white people were affected too, why don't y'all sit up there and fight for a type of reparations for the government? How about that one? Why don't y'all open up that discussion? How about that one? Because the funniest thing is, even if that were the case, that it was like, yo, y'all lost a lot of people and whatnot or whatever, you know what the government would sit up there and do? The government would actually come out and they would give you guys monies. They would actually give you an apology. They would actually admit how wrong they are. We wouldn't have to wait for some secret, declassified CIA, FBI, Interpol, paperwork that still got things blacked out for us to understand what was specifically happening. Black people are learning every single day new information on how diabolical the United States government is and the amount of test subjects that they had, that they used, that they created by way of the black community. And y'all got the nerve to sit up there and roll up here and try to all lives matter a situation. Again, that has nothing to do with you. That's crazy. That is crazy. White folks, this is why y'all need to sit up there and just simply stay back out of a lot of conversations, because you're going to make it worse for yourselves. At no point in time can I ever listen to white people tell me that they are victims of their own people. How? You hired and enabled, give your tax dollars every single day. Ain't white people supposed to be sitting up there talking with their wallets and not just talking with their vote, right? Aren't y'all the main contributors to a lot of these political opponents or whatnot or whatever directly out here? I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican. Ain't y'all the main ones that facilitate monies directly in their pockets? Huh? And ain't y'all the main ones that also support the lobbyists, which also puts money in those political officials' pockets? So you mean to tell me, as a white person, hand over fist, these political officials who are white have poisoned, tricked, and lied directly to you, and you don't want to speak out against it? You don't want to sit up there and say nothing. You don't want to make a documentary. You don't want to write a book. But the moment in time that black people start speaking, writing books, doing documentaries, dissertations, whatever it is, now y'all want to come out the woodworks and say, oh, it wasn't just y'all. We all went through it too. Huh? This is like the same thing with talking about slavery. The only time that anybody want to sit up there and say that they was a slave is directly after black people start talking about it. Before this, I ain't never heard a white person sit up there and say like, "Oh yeah, I got Irish and Scottish slave blood and in my ancestry." I ain't never heard y'all say a lick about slavery. I ain't never heard y'all say a lick. But the moment in time that black people keep talking, magically, it's like just something just comes up from within you, and you're like, we got all of this great stuff in society. Wait, the blacks are talking. They're trying to uplift them. They're highlighting the positive of slavery. Like that doesn't even make any type of sense. No, you can't do it. We're all slaves. Yes, the Scottish and Irish. We were all slaves. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Let's mention that. You weren't the only ones that were slaves, huh? What are we doing? How y'all do that? Like I said, it's amazing how y'all just like flip a lot of stuff. It's amazing. It is diabolical. But it'd be like that though. But anyways, let's I gotta scroll back up so I can just mark some of these comments. Somebody said, what am I talking about? Black Americans. I'm not even sure who you're even specifically referring to. I'm not sure if you're referring to someone in the comment section or if you're specifically talking to me. If you specifically have a statement that you're trying to make to me and you're not talking in general, you need to use the at symbol, right? And then put in SEIJI. That's simple. It is literally it's a few buttons that you got to sit up there and hit. That's all you got to do, right? But like I said before, somebody said this morning thinks that all white people hang out together. No, obviously you do. I didn't say that. No, nowhere in there did I state that. Now, do I generalize? Yes, I do, and I have no problem with sitting up there doing that. Again, I was raised in America, right? I was raised by the greatest of the greatest, right? The main people who taught me how to generalize were white folks, right? Looking at the political officials, listening to politics and all of these, looking at mainstream media news, every single time the black community is spoken on by somebody white, it's a huge generalization, and they don't specifically say this specific group or whatnot or whatever. It's usually a generalization that classifies all in the black community as a degenerate or as a negative or whatnot or whatever. So, like I said before, does SEIJIHITO generalize? Yes, he does, but for very specific reasons. I was raised and born in America. I'm going to do what Americans do, right? Again, another generalization. Huh, look at that. But anyways, let's keep going directly through some of these comments that we got directly up here. Much love and respect and appreciation to Gail. She put the Cashapp up there, just in case people want to pull directly up to the scene and support, the content, support the lives and different things of that nature. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Let me see. Also, shout out, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all of my moderators that are currently here at this moment in time, just in case I didn't happen to, get a chance to call you guys out. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Let me see. What else do we got? Somebody said, you weren't a slave, so why do you act like you or somebody you know recently was? Brother. So what part of the conversation are we, in a sense, talking about slavery? Now, I put the context of slavery directly in there for the all lives matter context, because whenever it is that Black Americans happen to speak up about something, people want to show up to all lives matter the situation. Before there was even a such thing, or even words of Black Lives Matter, there was no such thing as a all lives or white lives matter or Asian lives matter or police lives matter. I just want to make that very, very clear on how it is that when Black people create something, everybody else tries to layer themselves directly on it and have that as a standing platform, right? Black Americans have to be the base in order for a lot of things to actually move forward or to be able to stand tall. Again, that's the main point. At least I thought, or I felt that I was, in a sense, getting to. But it'd be like that. It directly be like that when it deals with certain types of things. But whatever. Like I said, shout out to America. Shout out to America. Also want to give a much love, respect, and appreciation to Hack for the $2 dono to the channel. Said, don't let the trolls get under your skin. I don't, in a sense, technically. Somewhat. It depends on the day. It depends on the day. But anyways, let's get to this next video here. Where let me see. Where did we go? I got to rewind this back now.
Wait, there's no way.
Interrupted.
What you see behind me is an accurate description of disrespect. This is what it looks like to be disrespected. Mind you, this is in US. This is in US. And I know for a fact that there's 4 countries on this list that make way too much money in tourism for this to be how much money that you are paying the people. There's no way. There's no way.
So also, my bad, I had to interrupt. The woman that you see talking, I ended up learning a little bit later. Somebody stated online that she is a immigrant as well. Her bloodline is not directly Black American. She is not specifically from here, because she has had talking points of which I've shown off on this platform before, where she has said quite some sideways or some crazy stuff directly about Black Americans. I also got another video of where she herself is specifically speaking out towards a lot of the other immigrants who are being disrespectful to her people, her bloodline, and her heritage. I may play that video, I may not. We'll just so happen to see. But more so, this video is specifically for a lot of those out there that want to come to the United States and you want to badmouth, you want to sit up here and talk about Black Americans, their contributions. You want to try to rewrite the history. You want to have your own revisionist history directly on it and basically make yourself the top person and put Black Americans somewhere as a distant 10th cousin or whatnot, whatever. So let's just pay attention.
So I got to Google. I went to Google and I looked it up. And we're going to go in order, right? And after I go in order of all of these things, we got to figure out what the is going to happen, because this cannot continue. This cannot continue where the actual natives are being paid pennies and can't even enjoy the riches of their own country, of their own island. Meanwhile, they are the country or tourist, they're making bank. Somebody is getting robbed. Let's go from the top. Okay. Antigua Barbuda, right? They make $1.9 billion in tourism yearly, right? 1.9 billion. Next, let's do Barbados. Barbados makes 1 billion. 1 billion. Next, we have Belize, 1.4 billion. 1.4 billion. Dominican Republic, I already knew they make bank. You want to know why? It's like literally one of the most sought after destinations of the Caribbean.
Which is true.
You know how much money they make? 9.8 billion a year in tourism, right? Haiti, listen, with the state of my country, I already knew it's going to be low. But I was even shocked to see that we pull in $200 million in tourism. 200 million, right? After that, you have St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They make, where are you guys? Where's St. Vincent? Oh, they make 563 million annually. Okay? Then we're going to go to Grenada. Grenada, you already know. They make 548 million yearly in tourism. The Bahamas, where's
I got you,
where's Bahamas? $3.52 billion, right? And then Jamaica. Let's be honest. They put them last on the list, but when y'all think about these, it's two places people stay wanting to go to. Jamaica and the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
It is what it is, right?
So let me just put what Sham said. I made sure to post. I got you, Sam. Sham said that, Sergio, can I say something? None of that money goes to the island people. It goes to the white man overseas. I believe it. I 100% believe it. Like I said, and again, the main reason I wanted to point this out, and I'm using her video as context, because again, she did the research. She put the information directly up there, and on top of that, you know, her bloodline is from elsewhere. She's Haitian, as she stated before. A lot of the people that decide to come here and they want to speak negatively on Black Americans, a lot of those folks need to go back home, because if your countries are pulling in billions and hundreds of millions of dollars, it makes no sense how you have people getting paid $3. What is that? Is that like an hour? Yeah, $3.33 an hour, $4.25 an hour. Belize $2.50, Dominican Republic $1.14, Haiti 41 cents. Brother, what? You had kids from the Christian Children's Fund making more money than that. 41 cents? Brother, come on. That's insane. That is some diabolical work right there. St. Vincent $1.16, Grenada $2.77, Bahamas $5.25, Jamaica $2.14. This is why I laugh whenever I hear a lot of people from other places want to speak negatively on Black Americans, because I'm like, yo, your money over there ain't really worth much, and y'all don't even understand what it is like to even have a livable wage. The moment in time that a lot of those folks come directly to America, they're living like kings. They're living like kings. They're like, oh, I got to worry about these bills and stuff. Like, no problem. I could just sit up there and work overtime. Right? I could just work and make as much money as I want to sit up there and make, and these bills will be completely fine. Versus living back home where every single day is a struggle. Every single day is a struggle. I just brought you guys a video earlier today where you had a Haitian talking about when he returns back home, he's thankful of him. He's reminded every day how thankful he is to be in the United States, because they got people over there having to walk miles upon miles in order to sit up there and get clean water. Like I said before, it's crazy how you guys come from the places that you come from, and you decide to be here and not have manners. You don't want to be a guest. You want to act like this is full-fledged your home and like you and your people created it. You did not. The blood, sweat, tears, sacrifices, all the bodies that can be seen every single day. If you know the history, all the bodies that you can see every single day that have laid out all of these paved streets, all of these sidewalks, all of these homes and these businesses. Y'all need to show the utmost respect to Black Americans. Because it's crazy to me that a lot of these places, they want to show the utmost respect to America. quote unquote, white folks in general. But white folks didn't really give them that. They took everything from you. But the main people that allowed you to be able to even make money, a livable wage to even live comfortable. Matter of fact, the only reason that we even got tip culture here, historically speaking, is realistically because of black people. Because back in the day, white folks didn't want to sit up there and pay black workers a livable wage. So black people were literally living off of tips. So like I said, in a variety of different ways, because of black people, because of black Americans, because of the black American experience in the history, you guys are able to have and facilitate the means necessary in order to have a healthy, livable life where you can raise your kids in a sense, quote unquote, in safety versus what it is that you got back home. But like I said, everybody want to sit up there and say that black Americans are problematic. Black Americans always think that they are important. They want to sit because we are the sun. You rotate around us. Without us, you would not be here. You would be flung directly off out of this solar system somewhere into the cold, deep reaches of space. You will be in a Kuiper belt somewhere trying to find a source of light, a source of energy to keep you warm. You wouldn't be able to find nothing out there. But like I said, it is what it is. Let's continue.
Do you know how much money they make? Jamaica makes they make $4.3 billion. $4.3 billion. How the hell is these the minimum wages? It makes no sense. Somebody is teething the money. Somebody is teething the money. It's not going back into the country. Because this is appalling. This is appalling. And honestly, at this point now, I don't know, for us kids that are part of the diaspora that has, migrated along with our family to different places in the Americas, in UK, Canada, we need to start figuring out what to do to get our country back on track, like to get the entire Caribbean back on track, because there's no reason why outsiders are enjoying our country more than us.
Right. So I got a few comments directly up here. And again, I love comments, right? So we got Oliver up here. Let me just highlight you. Said, you can't compare wages in the Caribbean to America. Our education system is way past yours. Look at the nurses and the doctors in America. The majority of them are from the islands. American blacks are lazy. So for anybody that always wonders why it is that I make content and I say the things that I just so happen to state and I make the responses that I make, I want y'all to have Oliver's comment directly up there. I want that to be specifically in your mind. And the craziest part is the video that I'm showcasing is a Haitian woman that is specifically speaking. So it's crazy to me that you're trying to tell me that people shouldn't be able to make a comparison. This is a Haitian woman talking about the areas of which she is from. And it's like, you are like, dog, this is so baffling, brother. This is So American blacks are so lazy to the point that we got millionaires and billionaires here, right? How if we were so lazy, we wouldn't have none of that here. And then on top of that, I happen to hear like I hear a lot of times, right? People like, hey, our education system is actually, better than you Americans. All right, so why y'all still coming here? With all of the immense education that you have for this person, Oliver, right? So you said, again, going from the top, you say you cannot compare the wages in the Caribbean to America, right? So obviously you're Caribbean. Cool, no problem. Be proud of who it is that you are, where it is that you come from. The problem that I have with how proud that you are is that you cannot admit any type of fault. You're stating that you got such a great education, but yet your people run here to basically build themselves up and to sit up there and live, and you treat home as a vacation spot. How do I know this? Because I've worked with people from the islands, Caribbean, Jamaican, Trinidadian. I've worked with those people. Shout out to Whole Foods, right? I got a chance to work with those people and many other people that work directly in that establishment, in that business. And I always hear how a lot of those folks, they are established and they live here. They have a residency here in the United States. And they always say that, oh, I saved up enough time off, enough PTO so I could take a vacation and go home. They didn't say they was on a work visa. They say that they saved up PTO time so that they can go on vacation to go back. Because after that vacation, do you know what I happened to hear from those folks? Oh man, it's good to be back. It's it's bad over there, right? I had a supervisor that's Haitian. He would tell me about where it is that he come from. He would tell me about his people. Again, he was a proud man. He is proud of his heritage. He does not deny that. He cannot deny it. Right? It is a part of every fabric of his being. But he also let me know how bad it is there, how poor the people are, how the crime specifically is there, and how happy he is that he came to America and how he has his kids here and he's raising them here and they're getting their education here. They're living here. So miss me with any of the nonsense that you're specifically trying to tell me about how great your education system is. If your education system was so great, everybody would just be staying there, living there, flourishing there. That would be the end of story. But it's not. But it's not. And again, a lot of these places dealing with the islands, they get a lot of their money from tourism. Let's see what happens when that tourism stops. Let's see if a lot of those islands are going to be able to still make the same bank that they're able to sit up there and make. Because to my knowledge, I'm trying to figure out when I look at a lot other opposite of like Haiti, I'm just trying to figure out the natural resources that a lot of these places have that they're able to export where it's just making buku dollars and money. Because last time I checked, at least for as long as I've been around, the only thing that I know about a lot of these places is that they're hot spots that people want to sit up there and go when they want a vacation, when they want to see something different, something new, have a new experience, right? When people want to just take a break from living wherever it is that they want to live and they want to be somewhere else cheaper. But, it'd be like that, though. It'd be like that, though. We got other people in there want to say I'm a clown. I mean, I guess so. But wouldn't that make you even more of a clown for sitting up here listening and staying here with me and trying to converse and let me know how it is that you feel? You're the master of clowns. And nobody will ever know who you were. It'd be like that. Somebody said you don't even believe your own stupidity. I mean, I'm talking about things historically speaking. I'm not just saying whatnot or whatever, but it'd be like that. Some nonsense I'll leave directly up there. I'll leave some nonsense directly up there. Somebody said Claudette is definitely not FBA with her ignorant self. Yeah, it'd be like that. But like I said, what you gonna do? Another person said that saying Black Americans are lazy is just pure ignorance. I mean, it'd be like that. Like I said, any of the people that want to say that Black Americans are lazy, they can never give me a point in time in which I fled America and tried to go to another country. If I was that lazy and I didn't really want to do nothing to work, I would just flee and go to another country, though, right? I would go to another country where conversion rates is way different, so I can just do whatever, right? But obviously, that's not the case. Somebody said, "Why is it we are all? Why is it we are doing here? We are all one people. Please stop this nonsense. Please stop this. We are all from Africa. Please miss me. This is like I said before. Let me just zoom this out real quick. I need for all of the clowns out here. Like I said, if you got the whole thing out of Africa theory and whatnot, or whatever, that's cool. More power to you. That's great. At this moment in time, Black Americans have the right to feel and talk the way that they want to sit up there and speak. However, it is that they want to reference themselves as Black Americans, they want to say FBA, they want to say ADOS or Indigenous, Original, Hebrew, is whatever it is. Black Americans have that sole right to sit up there and do it because for the longest time possible, everybody else been giving us brandings and names. Black Americans are the only group of people that have been the most branded. I'm just going to put it just like that. When you look historically speaking at American history, look at how many times, how many name changes Black Americans have had to basically work through. And again, like I stated to people before, and I showed proof, right? The terminology when it deals with the term African American was recently created and realistically used and popularized by the late 80s to the 90s, and it wasn't really in circulation and heavily used up until the 2000s. That was information that anybody can clearly look up, that I actually went directly over in a variety of live streams and in single formatted videos. So again, miss me as a Black American, miss me with all of this stuff trying to say this kumbaya, we are all African. Because if that is the case, I need y'all to start going directly to the white folks in America. I need y'all to start going to the Asiatic man. I need you to start going to the white Europeans. I need y'all to start going to the Aboriginals in Australia, telling the whole world that we are all African, and for them to return back home and to learn their history and their heritage. But y'all ain't gonna do that though. Y'all ain't gonna do that. Y'all ain't gonna do it. I ain't never seen no videos of y'all sitting up there trying to tell the white man, like, oh, you're African, come back home. We are your parents, we're your mothers, we're your fathers. You would never do that because you got too much worshiping going on. That is crazy. Ridiculous, 100%. Matter of fact, let me see if I can actually get this get the video of her. Because I'm not sure if I might have did I actually go through and try to edit that one? I didn't. I did not. All right, well, it is what it is. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna play it directly as is. She was fairly emotional about it. Like I said, I get it. You know, I get it. I 100% get it. And like I told people before, I can sit up there and agree to disagree with people and still take out the time to actually listen, because I'm not going to be emotional or quote unquote overly emotional, you know, specifically about the situation or whatnot or whatever. So we're going to sit up there and take a listen to what this Haitian woman has to basically state about her people and who specifically is that she is referring to and talking directly about. So let's just take a listen.
I, as a Haitian American, now truly understand the stance of so many Black Americans, so many foundationally Black Americans, as far as no longer wanting to be humble. I understand them no longer wanting to give into appeasement behavior. And it's not that these people aren't humble. They're tired of the world constantly trying to humble them. Just listen to how this sounds. Imagine being the start of a movement, a start of a community, yet still having to prove to people in that community why you deserve to be there, why you deserve to be a part of it, why you deserve to be accepted. Imagine your people being the start of whatever kind of influence, other people benefiting from said influence, just to turn around and tell you that your people didn't create it, or they try to discredit or diminish the impact of the influence. Try to say that, yeah, it may have started there, but we took it and turned it into this and twisted it into that, and now we made it our own. What? Anything to not give your people their due respect. Haiti is the first independent Caribbean country, yet has just now started getting included in the Caribbean spaces. How is that possible when we started it? How is that possible when we're the start? The Caribbean Music Awards that was held literally on Friday took place in damn near little Haiti in Brooklyn. Yet all Haiti got was an honorable mention. Y'all been celebrating Zouk. Y'all been celebrating Zouk. Anytime a Zouk song comes on, y'all are quick to let any Haitian know, oh no, that's not compa, that's Zouk. But Zouk is a subgenre of compa. It comes from compa. Martinique wouldn't have that genre if it didn't start in Haiti with compa. Just like all of the rest of the soca islands would not have soca if it did not start and originate in Trinidad. But y'all understand that. Haiti is the first Latino country, the first independent Latino country that went on to help Mexico, Venezuela, DR, Peru, Ecuador, Panama get their independence. Yet we're just now being recognized as a Latino country. We're now being recognized as a Latino country, we're now being accepted in a community we started. Haiti is the first independent black republic in the world. In the world. Okay? In order for other parts of the world to know their history, they have to learn about Haitian history. For a lot of countries, in order for you to begin to learn the beginning of your country, you have to learn about mine. Because Haitian history is world history. The impact of the Haitian Revolution still impacts the world today. Today. Spain Spanish is the standard Spanish. France French is the standard French. England English is the standard English. But when Haitians say that Haitian Creole is the standard French-based Creole, y'all want to say, no, we didn't get the Creole language from you. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Y'all need to go and educate yourselves. Okay? Although Saint-Domingue was not France's first territory, that was Quebec, Canada. That was the first territory that they imported African slaves to. The first set of African slaves that were imported by France was sent to Saint-Domingue. It was those first African slaves that started creating the French-based Creole that we know today. From them trying to learn French from their colonizers while still keeping the native tongue they came with. It was because of the natural resources that Haiti had that France was able to make so much fucking money to the point where they started acquiring other territories. In them acquiring other territories, they started importing already conditioned slaves from Saint-Domingue to train the new slaves, thus spreading the Creole language, thus bringing it to the other French territories. French-based Creole started with Haiti. Look for your fucking self. The earliest recognized French-based Creole emerged from the French colonies in the Caribbean in the late 17th and 18th century, with Haitian Creole being the prominent. It started with us. And before you be like, oh, it's AI, it's probably Wikipedia, go and look for yourself. Here's the fucking sources. Here are the sources. Y'all gonna tell me that the encyclopedia is wrong? Is that what you're gonna tell me? More sources. More fucking sources. Y'all gonna tell me that they all wrong too? The way that you people talk about Haiti, the way that Haiti is talked about, the way that Haitians are talked about, calling us poor, calling it the poorest country in the Caribbean. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why that is, okay? Because first of all, you're talking about the country that is nicknamed Le Pearl des Antilles. That is the Pearl of the Antilles. The reason why I got that nickname is because of the wealth that it had through its natural resources, okay? Haitian iridium, Haitian vetiver. Had it not been for the foreign sabotage, the foreign corruption, the foreign exploitation of Haiti, y'all really think that Haiti would be in the position that it is today? You think that my people don't know how to take care of the country they fought for? The country that they bled to have, to claim? You think that we can't take care of our own? Do you really think that? Haiti was the safest country to go and visit in the 80s. In the 80s. That was not too long ago. The state that Haiti is in now is because of a lot of all of these foreign countries evading it and corrupting it. That's why. The fact that the Haitians and the Haitian Revolution has contributed so much to the world, where it still impacts it to this day. The fact that you guys are able to get away with disrespecting us the way that you do is fucking crazy. The fact that you're able to spread such vicious fucking rumors about us and it actually is successful in being spread is disgusting. Y'all was able to get away with a fucking rumor that Haitians had AIDS in the 90s. Just last year during November's elections, y'all was able to get away with a rumor that Haitian people eat cats. Cats. And had it not been for my people, a lot of you still wouldn't be fucking free. And it just goes to show how deep the xenophobia, the prejudice against Haitian people runs with you guys. It just goes to show, because how dare you talk down on a group of people that fought a war for 13 years so other people could be free? How dare you talk down on the group of people that made it possible for there to be a rebellion? Had Haiti failed, had the Haitian Revolution failed, it would have been used as an example to keep everybody oppressed. But because it was successful, it showed so many other countries that you can rebel and you can successfully rebel, to the point where you guys started doing it. You started following suit. My people went against the greatest, the strongest military army of that time and won. And y'all talk so poorly of us. Then a lot of you guys have the nerve to open up your mouths and say that Haitians and Haiti is excluded or isolated because they want to be. How the fuck are we isolated from a community that we started? If Haiti didn't become the first freed Caribbean country, there would be no Caribbean. If Haiti wasn't the first Latino country to be free, there wouldn't be no Latino countries. So how the fuck are we excluded from communities we started? Make it make sense. Y'all excluded us out of a community that we started.
So I want to, because I'm looking at a lot of the comments there, and I think that some of the people, so for the Black Americans here, for at least my understanding of watching a video at least 2 times, she wasn't directly speaking to Black Americans. She was talking to the other islands directly out there. I think also maybe potentially talking to the Africans, but also specifically talking to the Latins directly out there, because she stated from her own mouth that a lot of those islands are Latin. Right, they're a part of like the whole, Latin, type of thing. And she's basically trying to state that how is it possible that for a lot of the other islands out there, a lot of the Latins and whatnot, whatever, how is it possible that you're going to decide you're going to exclude us from something that we started and created, meaning she's talking about the Haitians, right? So again, from that perspective, from how she's speaking on it, I understand and get what it is that she is saying, because again, it doesn't make any type of sense. It doesn't, right? And this is the exact same thing that Black Americans are stating when it deals with a lot of other stuff directly out here, how people want to be disrespectful, how people want to try to implement and place themselves far above Black Americans as if they had the highest of the highest impressions, put directly out there, where it left an indelible mark on Black Americans, and then it caused Black Americans to start moving and doing this and doing that and all this other type of stuff. Well, we were already doing stuff before we even knew about those people, right? And again, that's been Black America's stance on a lot of things for a very long time. But now you're hearing somebody else who is not Black American pretty much saying the exact same thing when they're going against other people directly out there. So let's keep going.
That it was based off of our hard work that you're able to benefit off of. So fuck being humble. When you know that your people's contributions impact the world today, still, the fuck is you being humble for? There's some facts you just can't fucking argue with. You just can't. Okay? Like how Jamaica is the more popular known Caribbean island. It is what it is. Even though there's carnival everywhere. Guess which one is more known? Trinidad. It is what it fucking is. It also started there. It is what it fucking is. Soca started there. You can't take that away from them. Same thing with Jab Jab. Even though Jab Jab is celebrated everywhere. Everywhere. Y'all know Grenada for it. You can't take away people's hard work. You can't take away nations' contributions. You cannot do that, nations. You can't do it. Same thing goes with Haiti. So fuck am I being humble for? And I encourage all Haitian Americans, all foundationally Black Americans, you know what the fuck your people did. You know what the fuck your people and their history is. Why are we being humble? Why? For what? For what? Acceptance in spaces that we created? Fuck you. So moving forward, I'm only rocking with those that's rocking with me. If my presence, for me to be around you, it calls for me having to shrink myself, fuck you.
Right? So just like I explained somewhat towards the tail end, and just like she just explained now, anything that she was stating that had nothing to do with Black Americans. All of the anger, the frustration that she was displaying directly in this video, it had nothing to do with Black Americans. It had to do with all the others directly out there that want to take credit and for the culture and things that the Haitians specifically started, and how all of those other cultures and peoples want to X out the Haitians from, any type of trophies, awards, or for them to get any type of name drop when it deals with the creation of something. Everybody else wants to claim, right, what it is. And again, I just want to be paraphrasing. I just want to put this directly out there. She's not talking about Black Americans. She's talking about everybody else. Everybody else, right? Because that's why she said at the end, she was like, for the Haitians and for the Black Americans, what do we have a need to be humble for? For what? To be into, to get, replaced into spaces that we already created. And I agree with what it is that she's saying. She's right. Like I said before, you got a lot of people out here that's coming directly through, trying to take titles, trying to take name, trying to take places, trying to take credit for things that they did not create at all. Like I said, this is not my first time even covering stuff like this. I think a lot of people might be late. Like I said, when they dealt with Fat Joe and he wanted to sit up there and say that the Latins or whatnot or whatever, they were the ones that basically created hip hop and many other people. It's like, nah. And then it started getting to the point of what was happening. Then you started having Italians come out of nowhere and talk about that they need their fair shake. They need their credit for what I don't know, no Italians in hip hop. Brother, what? I don't know, no Italian rappers. What are we doing? Like I said, this is why, instead of ignoring a lot of the trash that people are saying, you combat that ignorance with knowledge, with black and white paperwork. You do stuff like that, because ignoring is going to make the problem worse. And then it's going to get to the point where the problem will get so large that you can no longer ignore it anymore, but nor can you fight it at the size and height that it is. So like I said, for a lot of the Black Americans, again, that come directly, and I'll probably have this in like a solo form video, and I'm going to repeat myself again, just like I've been doing, beating a dead horse. Instead of pulling up to the scene talking about your ignoring, if you got the time and energy to quote unquote ignore, which means that you care, and to then write a message to me in a comment telling me that you're going to ignore, which means you got all the time and the energy in the world, you need to get your ass directly on social media and start putting up some videos. Since you seemingly don't care, but care at the same time, you need to figure out something. You need to start doing something, start getting some movement happening. Because like I said before, I'm only one content creator. And when I look throughout, a lot of this landscape, it's only a few that got time to, in a sense, deal with this. Other people have, other stuff that they need to, deal with and focus directly on, and like I said, all much love, respect, and power directly to them. But again, like I said, things are spread thin. You got me and a few others that are focused on these types of things along with other videos. And then you got other people that are focused more so on the politics, the government, and all this other type of stuff that is going on. So there's enough space directly for other people that see an issue, that see a problem, start stepping up. If you got Black content creators that's been stepping up for years, it is your time to sit up there and start stepping up. It don't matter how small the amount is. It don't matter if you just create like a Twitter or something and you just start putting up facts, paperwork, black and white and stuff. Again, anything counts, because sooner or later the information that you put up there, it will be found and it will be used in a video, or people will make it use it as a reference point or whatnot or whatever. Like I said, every little bit counts. Saying that you're going to ignore a problem don't make no type of sense. A lot of problems have been ignored when it dealt with the Black community, and you can clearly see what is happening at this moment in time. How far have we gotten with ignoring problems and situations? Not far at all. And how big are those problems? Gigantic. You basically need a Megazord to sit up there and deal with a lot of these problems. You need to get Voltron. You need to get Gotcha Man. You need Ultraman directly in these streets to really fight some of these problems at this moment. Like I said, we don't need more problems to get like those. We already got enough of those. This is very much at the beginning. It's at street level, or if not underground street level in the sewers, very easily. We got ground level superheroes right now. Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Spider-Man. We got people out here that can really combat this right now. So that's what needs to happen. That's all I'm saying. I got to use comic book references because that's how I move. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. But RY say you need the Thundercats. Yeah. Oh, yo, let me tell you. Are you serious? Where did you just come in? Where did you just come into the video? Like, what part of the video are you specifically on? Let me just hold on. Let me just bring this down real quick. For this person, 33, right? Bro, what part of the video did you come in on? Like what part of the video of the live stream did you come in on where you're like, yo, so what's the solution? I literally gave a solution. I gave a solution on how people can contribute to help negate a lot of the misinformation directly out here to combat a lot of it. I literally gave a solution as a content creator. And then somebody pulls up to the scene, but like, yo, so what's the solution? So you've been in here for 10 minutes and you didn't hear me give the explanation on what at least a solution for this type of. Come on now. It's not. This is even a live stream. It's not that difficult to sit up there and pay attention. It within that 10 minutes, I gave a solution. That wasn't even like 5 minutes ago. What just happened? Brother, you can't make this up. You said you were watch. All right, fair enough. I'm not going to go overboard. You was like, all right, no problem. I'll just sit up there and watch. All right, much love and respect. Because I'm like, man, I'm like, I can't win. It's like I'm trying out here. Work with me, that whole type of thing. I saw somebody up there. Wait. Somebody was saying, what did you say? You said again, no FBA started. You said again, no FBAs started the disrespect. Y'all immigrants are still here in America, right? And don't want to leave either. Okay. I get what you're saying. I got what you're saying. I got you. Let me see. Dr. Sharon said, you are funny about Superman. You should read the book of Jasher to learn where Marvel got movie ideas from. Will do. I will check that out. Yo, Sonny, what is up? What is going on? Much love, respect, and appreciation. You said the entire time I've been in here, Seji has been cooking. Much love, respect, and appreciation. I want to say Puchina, but I think it's Puchina. I might have butchered that. My apologies. Please forgive me. You said bro man already gave the solution. Pay attention. Bars. Like I said, it's directly up there. Like I said, I'm trying to be a better person. I'm not trying to go all the way to like 1,000%. I try to go halfway. Gail said, nah, Seji been in here for a minute. His ass got to be to work in 10 minutes. Oh my goodness. What was it? Mrs. said, race aside, the United States is on its way out anyway. It won't be the Caucasians who will tumble and fall first. The natives will be fine in their reservations. They know how to survive off the land. Sad reality. Why is it that every single time that a world-ending thing takes place, people for some odd reason got this mentality that black people are not smart enough to fend for themselves? That the only way that we can build and fend for ourselves is by the way of the hands or the help of white folks. Like we're like word. So every other group out here, every other part of humanity knows how to survive out there in the wilderness. They know how to go to and from and do the things that are necessary, or at least learn how to. But for whatever reason, the main staple that I happen to see from a lot of folks out here is like, yeah, black people don't know how to do none of this stuff. What? So we just don't know nothing. We're just out here just blind. We're just solely dependent directly on white folks and the government 1,000%. We're not smart enough to know up from down and down from up. Gotcha. You got it. 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 Yo, we got Brandon V World directly in the building. What is up, brother? What is up? What is up? What is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Level Up said, bruh, has anyone ever seen a baby pigeon? I'm not sure. I am not sure. I'm telling you, I'm reading your name right now. I'm talking about for poo. I'm reading your name directly at this moment in time, and I'm telling you that in my mind, I can see it, but if I pronounce it, it's going to be vastly different. It happens all the time. Ask anybody who's been here long enough on this platform. I tend to butcher names, and it's not even on purpose. It, like I said, it's it's like that. Like I said, it'd be like that. Yo, Goth, what is up? What is up? He said, hey, my friend, been training, so ain't had no free time. I got you. I got you. Got you. Much love, respect, and appreciation for pulling up to the scene. Much love. Much love. We have. Let me see if I can actually highlight that at the moment in time because we stream speaker. Gotcha. We got Ishmael. What is up with the $5 dono directly to the channel that said, peace to Seji and the chat. Got this stream on speaker, using it to fry this fish I'm making, cooking with hot grease. I'm not sure if you were joking or not, but I would actually love some fish right now. Let me the funniest thing is, side note, I bought like 3 when I went to the grocery store a day or two ago. I actually got 3 pieces of salmon. So I plan on actually cooking that at a certain point, and whatnot or whatever. So yeah, just had to put that directly out there. But yeah, I got you. I hear you. You said the book of Joshua is about Jacob and his 12 sons. Oh, okay. Y'all was referring to the Bible. Okay, I got you. Somebody said, Lucy said, Black people will be the ultimate survivors because we have been. Bars, straight bars. LZ said, we came from slaves who did nothing but work. Yeah, that's true. But a lot of people like to sit up there and say that the only usefulness that Black Americans actually served was back then. The only time that Black Americans actually worked was back then in captivity. Like I said, craziest thing ever in life. Craziest thing. Excuse me. Somebody said, Chosen said they are petitioning to give the natives more money right now because of how bad they are doing on their reservations. I believe it. I 100% believe it. I'm not too surprised. I am not too shocked. We got I think I can put this as like orange. I think it is because the color directly changed. Shout out to the Ancient War Black Americans Are Not Africans for the $20 donation to the channel. Much love, respect, and appreciation to you and yours. Like I always say, I would not be able to do things that I do every single day without people like you, without my great, beautiful, awesome moderators, without a lot of the people that's hooked on to the Patreon or even the channel membership. So again, we got a variety of ways for people to support the channel. If it's one time, or if you want to sit up there and just be like, monthly, and I'm just going to leave it and forget about it. We got all of those things directly, right there. Again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all of those who support the channel. Much love. Let me see. Orange said, what are you having with it? It would be rice. I usually sometimes I might have like asparagus or whatnot, but usually I'll have like my salmon, jasmine rice, butter within the rice, butter with what is it? Butter, olive oil with, is it garlic or is it something else in there? I forgot what it is, but it's a flavorful type of butter that is there, and whatnot. But usually I have to put in another type of butter because it's a little bit dry, and it doesn't really give a little bit of fluff or life to the rice. because I don't really like dry rice like that. So there's a little bit of healthiness. Little bit of healthiness. Pan said another African caught attempting to smuggle bushmeat into America. Not sure what you might be referencing. What is that? Black man is fair. Yo, what is up? You said black people never been on. So wait. So let's take over the world stuff. Oh, okay. So you said what black Americans have never been on some let's take over the world type stuff. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. We pretty much just try to stay directly to ourselves, right? Orange said even though they bombed whole thriving communities with black wealth thriving, that is facts. And that was something that was mentioned a little bit earlier on during the live stream as well too. That is facts. Shout out to let me highlight this too. Shout out to Chosen for the $2 dono. Said there was no internet or TV during the Haitian Revolution, which is true. True. Sham said chicken stock is good to use. Sham, are you talking about for the rice? I think I might have tried that before. Like I put like some type of broth or whatnot directly instead of like using the water. I use broth, to basically try to give some type of flavor to the rice. Like I said, I gotta work on some stuff. I gotta try to perfect some stuff, using like the rice cooker and stuff like that. So it's a work in progress. Ishmael said got some fried okra and tomatoes, wild rice, and black-eyed peas to go with it. Okay. I got you. Orange said good. Pete said no worries. IMO, stay engaged. Your lives are always insightful. We can learn from one another when we make ourselves open to it. Coming together. SBA celebration. Not sure what the SBA is, but I get you. I hear you. Dr. Sharon said President Trump does not care for Native Indians. They were Siberians shipped to America to replace us as natives. They know we are the indigenous people, so don't fall for the we are from Africa. Somebody said your nationalism is making you insane at this point. I guess. Jacqueline Neek Thomas, what is up? You said cooking the rice in veggie or chicken broth as well. Right. Got you. Tippy said gaming stream. I just got here. Tippy, look here. I've been technically doing lives a little bit more consistently. And you're always late on me every single time. Look at this. We love Tippy here. Sonny said in Detroit, they seized literal bushmeat at the airport. That is crazy. I might have to do that story. That may be a story that y'all going to see pop directly up later on the platform. That's crazy. Why? Why are you even bringing that here? Like I get it. You might have a small population of your folks. What? Brother, just send them back home. Sham said I asked for gaming help Tippy, but he didn't see it. Oh no, yeah, I probably didn't see it because I was just like I was rolling through the comments. Ishmael said always cook your rice with veggie stock. Okay, I'll make sure to buy some of that. Sham said yes, chicken stock, not broth, but chicken stock. Okay. That might have been where I messed up. Because I used like a broth instead of a stock. Okay, I got you. Hack said make homemade sushi. You know what? That's gonna take me some time. That's gonna take me some time. I'm gonna have to go on gotta go online. I gotta get the rollers. I gotta get the technique right and stuff like. Man, let me tell you, if there's a moment in time that I can actually start making sushi at home, it is curtains. I'm gonna be a sushi connoisseur. It's about to be a whole different channel. Like it's gonna be looking crazy out here. Okay said plate and go. Jacqueline Thomas said yep, stock. Garth Peterson said Thomas, thanks, never thought of that, sounds great. Sham said nod, he was. I told him I was dying a lot and asked if it's possible to level up gear. Yeah, I didn't even see it. I saw Don't worry, Sam. I got you. I promise. I got you. Okay, said love what you are. Said twice. Notorious said, oh darn, they don't have to smuggle any bushmeat. They can catch it in the subways. Yeah, that's true. That's diabolical. That's facts. That's facts. Matter of fact, let me make sure I got this story. Let me see. African man. Let me see. In late July to early August of 2025, United States Customs and Borders Protection, or the CBP, at Detroit Metro Airport, or the DTW, intercepted 2 instances of African bushmeat from travelers originating from West and Central Africa, including 52 pounds of primitive monkey meat and 11 pounds of rodent meat. The travelers were fined for undeclared agricultural items, as bushmeat is illegal to import into the United States due to the significant risk of carrying communicable diseases such as Ebola and monkeypox. That is crazy. Yeah, we're gonna have that story directly up there on the channel. That's gonna be up there. So shout out to y'all for bringing that directly to my attention. I got that directly up there. Yeah, we're gonna be doing it. Sham said, I make sushi at home. It's pretty easy when you get the hang of it. That's true. That's bars. 100%. RY says, start your own sushi and Cali Road restaurant. Will order from the channel. Yeah. Let me tell you, I would be immensely scared to do anything like that, because if I make something, I would want people to be able to actually get it then, because I know from when my mom has like done a lot of things directly out here, right? Where if we got family in other states and whatnot, if she happens, like, let's say if my mom cooked, it wouldn't be like neck bones. Let's say if my mom like cooked like lasagna and we got like an aunt or whatnot somewhere on like the West Coast or whatnot, she would have to, I think she said she had to freeze it for, I think, 3 to 4 days or something like that. I think the post office told her she had to freeze it for 3 to 4 days to make sure that it's solid or whatnot, so that it will be fine in transit. Right. So by the time that it made it directly to the family member, it's pretty much completely safe, sound, and it's fine. So, like I said, I would be worried about the quality and things of that nature. And then I also watch videos of, what's that girl name? The pink sauce lady. However, that fiasco went back in like 2023 or whatnot or whatever. Yeah, I ain't trying to handle it like that. I would rather ship out stuff that's more so usable and like, let's say like in any type of like body butters and stuff like that. That's stuff that I would do instead of body butters or candles. Like, that's things that I would actually do and be fine with like shipping out, versus anything dealing with like a type of food or something like that, because it's safer. Tippy said, correct me if I'm wrong, so the Native Americans today are really Siberians that enslaved Black Americans. We might have to make a video directly on that, Tippy. We might have to do that. I got you. Let me just highlight that for you. Let me just highlight that. Okay, said, you eat that? Oh, you talking about sushi? Yes, I do. I am a sushi connoisseur. Yes. Yes, I am. And again, I have already had people on the channel basically tell me like, yo, you shouldn't be sitting up there eating this, that, and the third. Is bad for you, all this other. I get it. I 100% get it. But like I said, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any type of drugs. If I have a vice directly out here, it's going to be soda, aka pop, as we normally call it. Midwest, shout out to Detroit, West Side, 313, Detroit versus everybody. I'm going to have, like some Fago. I'm going to do something like that. And have whatever food that I like to, in a sense, eat. Like I said, I can admit what my vices are. So if there are problems, I know exactly specifically where they're coming from, and I know how to get rid of it, which is basically, getting rid of whatever that stuff is. But like I said before, be like that. It be like that. Chosen said the news story was funny. Yeah, we, like I said, if they got a video up there, I might put the video directly up there too, so y'all can hear it. Pete said, so bushmeat is monkey meat and rodents. Yes, from what they stated. Okay, said African in Japan. I'm confused. Are you talking about me? Because trust me, if I was in Japan right now, oh my good. Do you not understand how my camera would be on 24/7 and my whole background would be nothing full of like Gundams, Pokemon, anime, Yu-Gi-Oh. You would see so much stuff in the background. You would think it was like a museum. And then I would also have like a Marvel and the DC side with all of the nice like statues and stuff. Come on, nah. See, now you're playing. Now you're trying to play me out here. Notorious said they should have been locked up immediately. Yeah, they should have. They should have. They 100% should have. RY said, okay, then I have to fly in then. Guy said, worried about someone getting sick and then being held responsible. I mean, they sued McDonald's for hot coffee. I mean, that is true. That is true. And that's another thing I'm worried about as well, too, because I'm like, I'm trying to do the right thing, but I am not trying to sit up there and have somebody like, yo, you gave me this food, I'm suing you for $1 trillion. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna be my descendant, time like 1,000 are gonna be trying to pay that off. It's like, yeah, we don't got that. Pink said California rolls are the best. Yeah, I know a lot of people that like California rolls. Know a lot of people. Sonny said the bushmeat isn't fresh unless it arrives shivering. That is true. That is true. P said also pop in Kansas City. I didn't know that. I did not know that is how y'all talk about it there in Kansas as well too. That's pretty dope. Pretty dope. The ancient war Black Americans. I'm going to have to shorten it. The ancient war stated from the Yellow River. Shorty McGriff said Minneapolis, we call it pop as well too. Didn't know that. Like I said, this is another reason I like to have live streams. So if I use certain terminologies that are just local for me, thinking about Detroit and everything in that nature, it's pretty dope to sit up there and see that other people use it as well too. We are not the only ones. P said what travel plans to them diasporans in Scotland and Ireland. What a pleasant surprise, right? Garth Peterson said called pop in Kentucky as well too. Hey, like I said, because a lot of people used to just call me weird. It's like, yo, you want what? Like what's pop? I'm like, soda pop. I gotta go back to some classical terms. From like what did they say that it was like? If anybody remembers a book called like The Outsiders, it's like I feel like I got to make that like a reference point in a sense. I'm like, okay, so I got to go back to something that I read like The Outsiders, which was like the group of boys, and it was, man, that story was tough. Like what they had to like go through and the losses and whatnot. But anyways, yeah, you had one of the guys in there called Soda Pop, so I feel like I got to reference that sometimes so that people will get it. Elijah said pop in the Shy also. I pretty much I figured that in Chicago that would be a thing. I know for most of like the East Coast, it's Coke or soda or whatnot or whatever, but it'd be like that. RY said, oh yeah, The Outsiders was a great novel. Yeah, them kids had to go through some stuff. That was that was tough. D Money sitting up here said, shaking my head, just laughing at me. Crazy work though. But yeah, like I said, I love doing these live streams. Let me make sure. Oh, I actually missed some people. My bad. Chosen, I got you. My bad. I missed another one. Shout out to Chosen for the $2 dono. Said Haiti's freedom is not as impactful as they claim. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Again, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and all people who have donated directly to the platform by way of the live stream or many of the other avenues of which that we have directly up there to support the stream. But yeah, like I said before, learning about any and everything that Black Americans have done, I didn't see really a connection to other groups of people. Like that was just the way that it was put directly out there, historically speaking, is that this was just a solo thing. It was like, yo, you got these Black American slaves here. They decided to do an uprising. They decided to do this. They decided to, do all of these other types of things. So again, like I said before, I'm looking at what it is that Black Americans have contributed to and what it is that they have, specifically done. And again, that's not no type of shots directly at Haitians or whatnot, whatever. Like I said, I respect Haiti for what it is that they did in the history that they have directly up there. But just like the Haitians got their own history, Jamaicans got their own history, and everybody else, Black Americans got their own history when it deals with revolutions, when it deals with uprising and different things of that nature. The problem comes in when that history is not specifically taught, so it's left out. So people don't have specific context. So because that specific context or those facts are not specifically there for people to use a reference, this is when you have other people come directly in there and try to slide their history or their folks or whatnot, whatever, directly in there. So, it's crazy. Tick said, loved it. And yes, might read it as well. Trying to figure out what that person is referencing right there. Shorty said pop is a northern Midwest thing. Yeah, that is facts. The Ancient War said the red natives are from the Yellow River. Gotcha. Let me just highlight that and put that directly up there. I got you. Tippy said those white boys who are brothers. Wait, what is Tippy talking about? I'm a little bit lost in the conversation now. Jack Link said it was made into a movie too. Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe. Yeah, I think I might have. Okay. Not exactly sure what transpired and took place right there. But yeah, had a slight snafu there for some odd reason. My browser was like, all right, disconnect. I'm like, what just happened? I just got like a nice error directly up on the screen. It was like, yeah, we're having some issues on our side. Please refresh and try again. So yeah. My apologies. But yeah. What was I saying? I think I was trying to reference like the movie Outsiders. I think I might have watched it, but I remember more of the book than I think the actual movie because of how much time was spent on it. And in school they want to, we're gonna, beat this whole thing down. We're gonna give you 99 different, write a report, write a small 1 to 2 sheet paper about the character and what you learn about in this chapter and this chapter. And like I said, it was tiring. Ryan Scott said they ain't got enough balls to take over America. Yeah, that's true. They don't. Tick said my kids read it as well. That's crazy. I didn't even know it's still even in circulation at this moment in time. Timmy said I never saw the entire movie either, but still, those white boys didn't go through what black boys went through. Yeah, I get you. RY said yes, the movie was bomb. Tippy said no sound. Tick said the movie was awesome. My kids will see it on Broadway in February. I didn't even know they even doing Broadway plays. I'm so used to broadcast television. Broadcast is basically basic television that you don't got to pay for. I'm used to seeing commercials. So since I'm in a sense away from that, I said that twice, but I'm away from the whole thing dealing with just normal television, and I see ads and everything, by way of online and all this other type of stuff. I don't see those ads anymore because specifically, they would have ads pertaining specific. Said it again. You would have ads pertaining to where it is that you are, at the moment in time, or however it is that they would decide to do it. RY said, I thought my phone was tripping. No. It was on mine. Tiffany Jackson, what is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Said they threw all the white teenage heartthrobs of the day in that film. Tom Cruise, Rob Lowe, Elimo Estevez, and Ralph Macchiano, and C. Thomas Howell and Patrick Swayze. I probably mispronounced somebody's name there, but it'd be like that. Guy Peterson said, I remember the school report. Still don't understand what lessons we were supposed to take from that. I can't tell you either. I could probably... I still remember the small book directly in my hand and the pages that we had to flip directly through. And I remember, like, in those times, I'm not sure how the books are now, but the paper had a certain type of texture. Like people know what it is that I'm talking about if they remember, touching those. But it has a certain type of texture, certain type of smell, and the pages were a certain. It was like a light. What was it, like a light brown or like a tan or something like that? But yeah, like I said, I remember. I can literally see it directly in my mind at this moment in time, turning those pages, going through it, sitting in the desk, and all of that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, said, let them know now. Jacqueline Thomas said, yes, everybody was in that movie. Okay, said, oh, movies. Yeah. Tiffany Jackson said it was a little book. Yeah, it was. It was. Tippy said, I don't feel sorry for white teenage boys in the 50s. Y'all over here crying for outsiders. We call them outsiders. It should be black boys in the film. Y'all or Tippy. That's why I can't deal with Tippy sometimes. I swear to goodness. Okay, said men were men. Like I said, classic times. But yeah, pretty much that was about it. Pretty much at the time, went over quite a few things. I would actually rehash over the videos, but once the page gets restarted, it takes down all the videos I uploaded, and I'm like, I'm not trying to re-upload those again because that might have led to the problem, even though it shouldn't have been a problem because I really didn't have anything moving. Also, I want to put this out there to a lot of other people there who may want to be a like a streamer or a content creator. I will state that if you have the money to do so, and I'm not saying you got to have the top of the top computers to do it. If you got the room and you potentially got the money or whatnot, try out a dual stream setup, a dual PC setup, right? Which means that for me, all of my stuff is all in one. So I'm streaming to y'all and doing the content all on one PC, right? So you have one PC to the left that handles the streaming, and then you got the other PC which handles everything else. So it's less of a heavy load on one thing, and everything is pretty much split, right? So the streaming PC is only used for streaming, so you don't really got to worry about other things running in the background, potentially interrupting and cutting off the stream and different stuff like that. So yeah. D Money said technically Menace to Society was the black version of The Outsiders, kind of. Yeah, that's true. Tubi said, I checked to see if they have one on Tubi. Of course. Sham said, I was supposed to barbecue today. It's not happening. I bought a pork shoulder too. Yeah, that's gonna... Yeah, I know you got that like in a deep freezer. Okay, said already known. Jacqueline Thomas said, old dog. Gail Jones said, dang, Sham, I wanted a piece. Sham said, you be calling me a hacker. Look at the dual PC having a hacker. Oh, that's crazy. That's great. I have to. I got nicknames for everybody directly out here, Sham. I got nicknames for everybody. You just ended up being the one called a hacker. That's how it be. Tippy is in a sense the queen of cheap because she is very frugal. What do I have for Gail? I think I even had like a live stream part named. I think, what did I call it? I think it was like the Gale Winds or something like that. I forgot. It was like in reference to like a hurricane. Like I said, I got nicknames for some of the folks directly out here, like some intros and things in the nature that I've done over time. So don't feel bad. That just means you are a part of the family. Tiffany Jackson said ribs and hot links have been consumed over here. See, everybody's sitting up there eating good. Okay, said pork, beef, barbecue is all good. Goth said, lesson, don't stab somebody or witness it. Yeah, that's true. I guess we can take that directly from the outsiders. I guess we can. Okay, says save me a plate always. Sham said, I got it yesterday at the store. I put it on on the grill and smoke it tomorrow for some pulled pork tacos. Oh, that sounds good. Yo, what is up, Mo, our local neighborhood ninja? Seji said, if you delete some of those midget movies you have, more space on your PCs. Usually this is why I would normally read comments, and I ignore Mo a lot of the times. He would always pull up to the scene and say something. I'm like, oh, Mo pulled up. You got something to say. Let me read off what he said. And then as soon as I read it, I'm like, I shouldn't have read it. Every time. Every once in a while, Mo gets me. Every time. Gail would also get me too. Gail said, ain't no separation anyways. All meat is dangerous. Might as well enjoy. That is true. That is true. That is 100% true. But like I said before, I would highly recommend for a lot of people, if you can, go to the market and try out some beef bacon. That is some very good stuff. Try that out. I promise you will enjoy it. Tastes very great. Okay, said never known midget boys. Oh my goodness. D Money said had ribs and potato salad earlier with peas and a Hawaiian roll. Hawaiian rolls are actually pretty good. That's some pretty good bread, let me tell you. Pretty good bread. I had to look up in the corner because I'm like, I hope I did not highlight Mo's comment. I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to do that. We're trying to keep this as normal as possible. As normal as possible. But I guess it's heading into that time because it's like 7:24 at this moment, at least on my time. So again, it's the weekday. Yeah, weekday, because sometimes I don't keep track. September 1st. So, much love, respect, and appreciation to any and everybody that came directly through to the live stream. Go out there and do some grilling. Is it daylight outside right now? Yeah, it's a little bit of daylight. Go out there, enjoy a little bit of daylight, get some food, order some food, cook some food, catch up on some movies, or if you are a gamer, start playing some games. D Money said, wait, says you man. God Peterson said, not the short people movies. They all because of one comment. This is how it starts. This is exactly how it starts. That's some diabolical work. No, I don't have short people movies on the computer. I have no movies. I have on the computer. The only thing that I got is the content of which I place from the live streams or on shorts or the long format videos that I place directly for you guys. That's some crazy work. Sham up here laughing. Yo, Juicy Trap. Should I rearrange that? I think I should. Yo, Tribe. Tribe, what is up? You said Tay. I got you. Tippy said September 1st and 106 degrees today. Barbecue. Tippy, where are you at on the left side of Mercury? Like, what is every time you talk about the heat where you are, it's always 100 or something. I'm like, you might as well be cooking outside. Every day is a grilling. Every day is outdoors. Tribe said, what is that? Praise and hello. Yeah, sometimes I look at y'all names. I'm like, yeah, let me paraphrase this. Let me just do that. Some names be out here be a little bit wild. Let me tell you. Sham said it's 50 out here today. Tippy, D Money said they have people throwing contests. Let me know if you die. That's crazy. That's crazy. Sham said I thought he liked Amazons. All of his wives are on here. Dear God. Ah, my eyes. What was it? The ancient war. The ancient war. Wait, what is that? Is that a peace sign? I think that's either a rabbit or a peace sign. I'm not sure. Tippy said I'm in California. Tania Jean Pierre. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Because again, I used to work with like Haitians, so try to get the pronunciations. And again, I've done some other videos too from other places in the islands, so I try to get the pronunciation. Hopefully that's right. You said y'all put me on game and educated to what's happening. And thank you. I stay in the house because I'm quick to pull out that thing when upset. After retiring from the military, it's safer inside. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Shout out to you for being an indoors type of person and being 100% aware of who it is that you are and how it is that you may react if certain things transpire and take place, and worrying about your safety and be like, yo, I ain't about to do none of this foolishness. I'm staying indoors. Shout out to you. Much love, respect, and appreciation there. Like I said before, being an introvert and being a gamer, that is the thing. You live a lot longer. Let me tell you. Okay, it said Haitian. Tania said FBA, but married to a Haitian. Okay, I got you. I got you. I want to say yoga, but I know that's Yagu. Yagua, I think it is. Sorry about the mispronunciation. You said peace, right? God said to me, thank you for your service and sacrifice. Oh no, I think God meant Tania. I got you. I got you. God was talking about Tania. God said, all military members, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. That's bars. That is bars. Because like I say, you got a lot of people out here doing what it is that I am not trying to do at all. And I will stand 10 toes down directly on that. I'm just like, yeah, nah. Unless push come to shove, that's like, a whole different thing. Mo said, yep, better stay inside and watch. Wow, word. Mo was like, yeah, let me just slide another one in there. Sham said, I hate when it starts getting cold in Wisconsin. We get summers in the 90s and then straight to the 50s for the fall. Tibby said, you're welcome, I guess. LOL. Yeah, I knew who Goth was referring to, so that's why I made sure to put it up there. Tribe. Tribe said, I made this name in high school. LOL before everyone was a perv. I like Juicy Culture. I love their bracelets, but the world is trash now, so they see my name and think inappropriately. I mean, it's how it's not specific. It's not specifically that. So back when they used to have the jeans, right? Juicy Couture and all the other type of stuff, you would normally see the girls who was wearing it. And normally the girls will have like a type of shape. Because let me tell you, there was rare instances that when I saw any type of like black girls or whatnot wearing those type of like pants, like apple bottoms or whatnot, nobody was wearing belts. Let me tell you, none of them had to worry about wearing belts. Nothing was falling. So it's not really because people in a sense have like the mind frame. I think it's more so because of the where people grew up in the culture, I guess you could say, or something like that. So yeah, it's not because everybody's a pervy sage directly. I heard shout out to Jiraiya and Master Roshi. It's not because everybody's like that, but it'd be like that though. It'd be like that. Sham was like, OMG. Miss Tania said, I don't recommend any of our people join the military now. This POTUS and staff are traitors. I got you. I got you. That's bars. That is 100% bars. Miss Tribe said our minds have gone to trash. LOL. Tibby said Juicy Couture. You mean? Yeah. Sham said my dad would let me wear anything with Juicy on it. I thought some pants and he cut them up. Hey, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. Your dad was not standing for no nonsense. He was like, ain't nobody looking at my daughters. It'd be like that. Tania, yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? He said, peace, king, chat, and mods. Much love, respect, and appreciate. I mean, you are a mod too, so much love, respect, and appreciation to you as well. Miss Tribe said it was the bracelets for me. Okay, I got you. Behind enemy lines at 100%. Golden Brown, yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? You said, did you all see that Donald Trump just signed into law that all housing authorities have to remove all illegal immigrants in 30 days or close down? Ooh, I didn't hear nothing about that. Did not hear nothing about that. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Let me see. typing in is Trump wants authority to remove illegals. Oh yeah, I got some typos directly in that. Let me see. 5 days ago, HUD threatens funding for public housing authorities. Okay, let me see. So this is from the Washington Examiner. They said President Trump's Department of Housing and I'm sorry. Let me just restart that. President Donald Trump's Department of Housing and Urban Development is giving every public housing authority in the country 30 days to share citizenship status of tenants or risk losing their federal funding. By law, every PHA is required to share eligibility information, including citizenship status, with HUD. Section 214 of the Housing and Community Development Act specifically bars illegal immigrants from public housing programs. However, two senior HUD officials granted anonymity to discuss sensitive information. Tell the Washington Examiner that a significant number of either not shared citizenship information with the government or were simply never collecting the information in the first place. That is very, very interesting. So let me just put that directly up there in front of you guys right now, because since we're still technically going with the live stream, we're just cruising directly through. Let me just put that up. Well, it's a little bit short. I want to say you should be able to read it. You might have to look a little bit close. You might have to turn your phone sideways. Shout out to The Rock, and then read it that way. So yeah. Yep. Let me see. Shout out to Golden for bringing that out and pointing it out to us. Tippy said, I remember Juicy. Their purses were cute and the perfume smelled great. Tribe said, I agree. And then we got Tania sitting up here laughing. Sham said, LOL, I couldn't even get the bracelet or the purse. Nothing. I couldn't get, you said that you could get the What Would Jesus Do t-shirts, but nothing else. Dang, it was strict. Sham said, yeah, and Trump banned Nigerians from entering the States. Yeah, because you got them scammers out here. Tippy said, I had a Playboy Bunny t-shirt when I was little. Didn't know what it meant at the time. I guess my parents didn't either. LOL. That is crazy. That is oh my goodness. But like I said, the innocence of kids, you don't know what anything is. You just see something. It's like, oh, it's a rabbit. Let me wear it. Right. Sham says, so did about 50 other countries. Put Nigeria on the ban list. I was like, what did they do? Scamming. That's what happened. Miss Tribe said the Playboy era was wild. Yeah, it was. It was. Tiffany Jackson, what is up? I'm sorry. Well, Tiffany Jackson, sorry about that. Tiffany Jackson said that Trump must stay up all night looking for ways to remove illegal immigrants from the United States, and his staff are not playing. That is true. Miss Tania stated that Asians are getting deported for lying on their visas and overstaying for decades. Bars. Goth said, ain't that profiling? Said, ain't that profiling? That's not under his Privacy Act protection. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. Because the main thing that a lot of Black Americans have tried to tell people is that, for anybody that may be African or whatnot or whatever, like, you got to be mindful, you got to be careful, because these folks out here do not care. And a lot of them didn't want to listen. They felt like they were bigger than the program, and now they're learning the hard way. So this is currently where we are at this moment in time. People got to learn the hard way. What did Mo say? That is crazy. This man right here. Let me just go down to what Tippy said. Tippy said exactly. The logo was cute. It was pink and black. Sasson jeans. Didn't have to be here. He said, remember the Sasson jeans? Look up the Samsung family. Huh. Okay, said killing Christians. You don't know. Sham said, LOL, Mo is wilding out. Yeah, he is. Some crazy work out here. Crazy work. Let me tell you. But yeah. But What was it? D-Money said you was cool. We all went through that phase. Oh man. See, this is why I spend time just doing normal videos and playing directly on the game. This is exactly why. Let me tell you, it be on people. Let me tell you, it be on people every time trying to set you up, left and right, left and right, man. Let me tell you. But yeah, man. Like I told you before, just go out there, have some fun. Play some games for anybody out there that is a gamer. I know a lot of people ain't gamers. Y'all even got Goth up here like laughing at me. That's crazy. Diabolical work. Let me tell you something. But yeah, go out there and have some fun. And enjoy the rest of y'all day. Thank y'all for allowing me to peer directly. Would it be peering directly into your lives? No. It's actually the reverse. Thank you for allowing me to have a little bit of time in space, out of your very important time to, just hear me out and listen, to be a part of the live stream, be a part of the comments and the conversations, even bringing stories, directly up and whatnot, and putting us on some stuff. Much love, respect, and appreciation. Like I said before, I wouldn't be able to do the stuff that I do without people like you. As D-Money would normally say, shout out to the regulars. And where's my 10% or 15 in some cases? Shout out to all of my wonderful, beautiful minds directly out here for the work that y'all do every single day, doing God's work, sending people directly to the shadow realm. Thank you to all of the supporters directly out there for everything that y'all do. Somehow, y'all find a way to drop 50 cents, to help feed Seji every single day and to keep the channel on and keep the lights on. Much love, respect, and appreciation for y'all, seeing a way to donate to the platform, because I know y'all got families, y'all busy, y'all got, relationship and, all types of, bills stacking, directly up, but somehow, some way, y'all found a way to, donate to the channel. So, I highly appreciate that. And, thank y'all for that. Goth said, I used to game till the Xbox kicked me off from my profile name, which was Teabagger, but I only play Call of Duty. Anyway, Goth, I'm telling you, try if at any moment in time you want to get back into some gaming. Battlefield is coming out. You gotta get back there. Mo said we wore Guess and Gerbald. I don't know why I used to call that Gaudy Bird. I don't know what it was. Like, me reading the name, I swear to goodness, that's what it said to me. But obviously, I'm highly incorrect. Tippy said, not me. I was the tallest in my classroom, developing quick in elementary school. Yeah, Tippy was a titan. Let me tell you, she was there. She was towering over everybody. She was helping people get on the swing and the monkey bars. She was there. Sham said, doing the Lord's work. Bars. RY said it's Labor Day, so he needs 15%. What was it? RY said, LOL. D Money said it was tall tees, Gabards, and Nike Airs. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it'd be like that. Tippy said, I blame the kids ads on drinking milk, giving you strong bones. This woman here. Every single time I see your name, I'm like, nope, can't do it. Miss Tribe said, LOL, dying. RY said, love. D Money said, not the VHS, the classic joints. Sham said, LOL is just genes for me. Tippy, everyone is tall in my family, so I'm tall. I grew a lot overnight. Wake up and can't fit nothing. It be like that. Tania Jean-Pierre said, if any of y'all need babysitting in Tampa, contact me. Only for our people, free. All right, we got you. I'll make sure to highlight that directly up there so people can check you out there in Florida. Yo, Pink, what is up? Pink said, I went to Micro Center yesterday, and OMG, that place is a technological Disneyland. That is yo, I could have sworn we had this conversation about Micro Center. You look, yo, Pink, let me tell you something. I remember when what was it? I think it was like the first Luigi's Mansion when it first came out, and I went with one of my uncles to Micro Center. It was me and my cousin Sean, and I didn't really know much about computers or anything like that, but it was just amazing to see all of the parts. And you could just go there and actually build. Like, they have people there where you can buy your parts and you can sit up there and build your PC. And you can test it out, see if it works, and all this other. Like I said, it's dope. It is some very dope stuff. Like I said, one day I might actually do that. I might actually either do it there, or I might, like I told Brandon V World, sit up there and get some money together and then build a computer, and I'll just like live stream. So you'll see all the hiccups, all the mess ups, all of that. And like I said, learn together. Learn together. But yeah, Micro Center is dope. Micro Center is dope. Tania said, please everyone keep me in your prayers. I've been diagnosed with 3rd stage cancer and started chemotherapy on Thursday. Yo, man, that is tough. I'm going to tell you the main thing is to stay positive and to look into diets. Change your diet directly, around and like all, anything that you might not have been doing, or you thought like, yo, I don't feel like doing it right now. Just switch it up now. Just start from ground zero and switch it up now. Because like I said before, like that's one of the toughest things directly out here when, you have people going through a lot of things. And this is why, I try to give as much, thanks and respect to a lot of you guys for being here. Because like I said, y'all got a lot of stuff going on. We've had people that's been a part of the channel. Some people have been, sick, dealing with, hospitalization. We got Miss Tania. She's going through chemo, at this moment in time. And like I said, all the love and respect, directly to you, and for you just even taking the time being here. Because like I said, you got, way more, more important things to worry about, but you see fit to make time, to be here. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I will always be here. And let me know how everything is going. If I can potentially, I'm not sure what I would be able to do, but if I could potentially do something to maybe help out or something like that. Like I said, I wouldn't know what it would be, but like I said, yeah, I'm here. The same way that y'all always been here for me, I am here for y'all. So yeah, everything will go good. You're gonna go through, and you are going to beat it. Sham said, what was it? God said, I pinged my Xbox with the red ring of death because I had a body mod. You had the body modded and got caught playing bootleg games before they were. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, that can happen. Sham said, LOL, I need to hit up Micro Center. Tippy said, well, my jeans was flooding because I was tall. Golden Brown said, we must learn that some people hang around you because they love you, and then there was people that hang around you because they need you. Tania Jean Pierre said, most definitely Tania. You got a lot of people giving prayers and everything directly in the comment section. Pink said, yep, we're looking for CPU cases and started doing math in our heads. Sham said, if you need help, when you do, just call me. I'll walk you through it. Juicy Tribe said, referring to the gaming days, you said, I like the gaming days. We're camping and winning. Good Lord, you're a camper? We can't be doing that. We cannot be doing that. Cannot be doing that. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a conversation. Tania said, the diets are definitely changed. Okay, that's good. That is good, because usually that's like the hardest part for a lot of people. And the more healthier changes that can transpire, the better everything else will get. Sham said, Tania, stay positive, but also change what you eat. Stay away from chemically processed foods, along with deli meats, pork, and other stuff. Also, can be concerns. Can be what? Oh, I guess what, like carcinogens? Or other stuff can also have carcinogens in there. Gotcha. Fair, you said, what is good? Not much, not much. Sham says, stress is what makes things worse. You can make it. I am praying directly for you. Miss Tania said, thank you, Sham. Miss Jean Pierre said, Tania, where are you located? Tippy says, stay positive, Tania. You have support and love all around you. Guy Peterson said, I've been learning about herb and you said herb and healing properties and natural plants. Might try looking directly into that. Right. Like I said, anything will. Tania said the positive vibes are more than enough. Golda Brown said you have to be patriotic in order to give me counseling. Miss Tania said thank you, Tippy. Don't have to be here running. Said keep your head up and stay prayed up. That's bars. Yo, Leonard, what is up? Much love, respect, and appreciation. Said Tania, sweetheart, love and prayers. Shannon said positive energy is a healer for everyone. Prayer, send positive energy, and it does have an effect on cancer. Shorty said, I'm praying for you. Praying for you. Biggest thing, don't get depressed and finding things to keep your mind busy. Yeah, that's true too. That is true. Yo, lunch size. What is up? You said you're on my prayers, Tippy. You're on my prayers. Tippy, stay strong. Oh, well, lunch size is talking about Miss Tania. You're on my prayers, Tania. Stay strong through the process. Sister, I will pray for you to make it through this. Miss Tania said, I am located in Connecticut. I got you. Okay. Let me see. Don't have to be here running. Said he likes camping too. Guy Peterson said I was a camper too. Trap said campers are annoying. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. What was it? Mr. Nia said, thank you. I don't mean to change your live stream subject. No, that's good. That, like I said, usually when it does a live streams, it goes, pretty much all over the place, and different things in the nature. But yeah. Mr. Nia, I sit up there and tell you this. Are you on any other type of social media like IG or something? I really do got to check my IG. I really do. And also emails too. I'm getting better. But because just in case you're not able to, be on the live streams, because you're gonna, be going to and from and worried about a lot of other things. Because I want to be able to, keep track and make sure that, you're good. And so that we can keep everybody up to date on everything that is happening. Let me see. Wait, do you have me on IG or no? I gotta make sure to, because like I said, I gotta get better at doing a lot of stuff, trying to juggle, trying to multitask. I don't even know where my phone is. Come on now. Because I was gonna say, okay, you do. Okay, so just send me a message, directly up there and keep me up to date, because I'll make sure to, keep everybody else, just in case, you might not, might have missed the live stream or something like that. I can keep everybody that's a part of the channel, up to date on everything and stuff of that nature. So I make sure to to do that. Like I said, this is why I make sure I try to make sure to give a lot of love and appreciation to a lot of y'all, because y'all do a lot of things that y'all don't have to sit up there and do. And y'all could be anywhere else in life, or really focusing on other things that have to do with you, but y'all, always make out time and see y'all way, one way or another to come directly to the channel, either if it's by leaving a like, subscribing, coming to the live stream, being a part of the conversation, or even, leaving a comment under, some of the videos. Like I said, I'm very, highly appreciative of, all of y'all. I really am. Beyond, all the arguments and stuff that, that really take place here, I'm really appreciative of, of everything that y'all do here, And like I said, I would love for people to just be here, forever, not, dealing with, any type of, health problems and stuff like that. People can just, laugh and enjoy and, do stuff like that. So, yeah. But yeah, Mr. Nia, make sure to always stay positive. That's tell my mom that to this date. No matter what happens, always stay positive. Always, look at tomorrow. Every day is a brand new day, and things will always, change for the better. Right. Mr. Nia said, "Okay, will do." Betterment of. Oh, you said better? Okay, so your name is Betterment of Black Women. You said these Africans need to have a plan on how to fix their own issues properly. I agree with that. I agree. God said nothing but love to all. Stay safe and have fun in all you do. Got to go now. See y'all next time. Much love, respect, and appreciation, God, and thank you for being here. I can't. Can I really? So I can't because the name direct. I mean, I wish it was where I could just kind of do the what's the. Actually, I can. I got you. Let me do it this way. Let me see. So we got a shout out to David for the dono directly to the channel, because I gotta try to just block out the name. Let me see. Yeah, I could do it that way. So let me just highlight David, because I had to block out the other party name, because I try to keep the name as try to keep everything good. So David said another slap in the face is the fact that the Asians got a hate bill passed before Black Americans. Who needs an anti-hate bill more than us? That is true. Tribe. Every time I see the name, Tribe said, David, you already know how that goes. Dan said, yeah, obviously you trolling out. I got you. To the shadow realm you will go, Dan. Got you. Let me see. RY said, Dan is, hey, be like that. We got trolls that be popping directly out here. To the realm they go. Sham said, eat a bit of peanut butter, the magnesium, it will help you. Nah, Sham, that was a straight troll. That was a straight troll. Sham was out here trying to really give some helpful information. No, that was a troll. Like, they always pop in here talking about some food type stuff, like, yo, I got this and this going. I'm like, dog, ain't nobody trying to hear that. I'm like, you trolling out right now. I'm like, all right, we're gonna back you on up. Tribe sitting up here laughing. Sham said, Lamo. True said, what up, Seji? What is up? You said, I'm just getting off of work, brother, and I got to rewatch this. No problem. Much love, respect, and appreciation. I'm happy you're able to make it to and from the same way that you were able to get there, and you are home safe and sound. Sham was like, oh, sorry. No, it's good, Sham. Like I said, I know. It happens. Because sometimes I see some comments, I'm like, it starts off good, and then as soon as I make it to the middle, I'm like, I shouldn't even have read this. I'm like, why did I? And I'm not talking about Mo. He's trying to set me up out here. I'm talking about, like the trolls and stuff like that. Tippy said juicing might help as well too. That's true. Yeah. Like I said, anything to, both change the health, which will also, help change the mind as well too. Like I said, back and forth, symbiotic type of dance. Like I said, for me, I'm in the belief that anything is possible and that anything is beatable. That is the mind frame that I have, and that's the mind frame that I will forever have. no matter, what takes place and happens, anything is possible. And you can get through anything. Right. So like I said, much love, respect, and appreciation. True said, I appreciate that, brother. No problem, no problem, no problem. So again, RY said mindfulness meditation can also help as well. That is facts. That's facts. And again, Mr. Nia, it is all cool. Like I said before, we cover a lot of different topics. We go to and from on a variety of different things when it deals with live streams. And and a lot of times it's pretty good to switch, energy and focus on, different things to disperse a lot of stuff. Because again, a lot of the content sometimes it's a little bit heavy. It could get people a little bit anxious, a little bit angry, feel a certain type of way. So, it's good to talk about and have, breaks in content so that people can just just breathe, have a nice reprieve before the next thing comes up. William Torres said, you become what you think. That is true. True Judah said, I'm not sure what's happening. I'm trying to Bobby Price full body detox. I got you. This month. Okay, I see you. One of these days I'll probably do one of those as well too, but the issue that I ran directly into, where if I decided to do, let's say, a fast for about 48 hours and I'm just doing water, the amount of weight that is not there anymore, I'm like, yeah, we gotta end this real quick, because I'm not trying to hit 135. I'm not trying to, fly back down there, at least at this moment in time. So, but like I said, that's just me. And, then on top of that, the fast metabolism, type of deal. So it'd be going a little bit hyper within those 2 days, almost touching 3. Yes, a little bit hyper. But yeah, much love, respect, and appreciation. I'm about to get on up out of here. We've been going for almost about 3 hours, and I was supposed to end this at about 2:04. Just like I told you at the beginning, I'm going to try not to, make the live stream, that long or whatnot, whatever. But we will have a video uploaded. I have it in the background at this moment in time. I will have a video uploaded for you guys by 12 a.m. So for anybody here listening, be on the lookout directly for that. Have your notifications directly on for that video. Let me just make sure as I'm talking to you guys now. Yep, I got the video sitting directly in the background. Let me just do the exporting on that video. Yeah. So yeah, within the hour, I will be able to have that video directly up there for you guys, and it will be specifically set for 12 a.m. for you guys to just so happen to watch, if you choose to watch it. Sham said, fasting for you, Seji, just needs to be 24 hours. A tea cleanse, you shouldn't do more than that. Yeah, I learned that lesson. I learned that lesson. You know how hard I worked just to say, and this is not with me like, trying to work out like a lot of other guys. This is just me, of course, content creator, sit here, do videos, I eat food. You would naturally think that, oh, Seji, you got to be like 4 tons right now. Nah. My big Buddha era was probably somewhere in a past life. At this moment in time, I'm just on at most I might have hit like 167, but then I fell directly back down because of the whole fast. I fell down to about what was it, like 154, 155, somewhere in there. And it's like if I would have went any more, I would have went down to like probably 130 something. And I'm like, yeah, I ain't trying to be there again. It took a long time to get here. I'm talking about years. It took about 6 to 7 years for me to even see anything close. Out of all of my time, it took 6 to 7 years to get up to like 160 anything. I didn't even think that was possible, just to be real. But yeah, that's just me without like working. I'm pretty sure if, I sit up there and like, work out and stuff like that, it'd be a little bit different. I'm not even going, man, this man mode, let me tell you. Tribe said, take care, chat. Much love, respect, and appreciation to the Juicy Tribe. Much love, respect, and appreciation. D Money said, give that right arm. And oh man, I gotta stop reading y'all comments sometimes. Let me see. Sham said, nah, He got a very active metabolism. You got to be careful with not eating. Yeah. Yeah, Sham sitting up there with the face like, oh. Sham is so innocent. Dear Lord, Sham is a sweetheart. Sham is so. Oh man, that is crazy. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, said I'm with you. Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. Tiffy said nope. He's an ectomorph. He can eat anything and don't gain a pound. Literally anything, but not me. If I eat a cookie, I'm done for. Tippy is hilarious. I swear to goodness. Tippy is hilarious. I swear to goodness. But yeah, we're gonna on that note there. I can't even highlight Sham's comment. I'm gonna have to highlight Tippy's. We're gonna try to make this as family friendly as possible. So if any replays happen from people, people don't gotta try to explain to their people's like, yo, what are y'all? What you listening to? What y'all talking about in here? So yeah, Tippy said if I eat 2 cookies, call me precious. This woman here, it ain't even. This woman be exaggerating. Let me tell you something. Tippy be fully exaggerating. Tippy is just tall. That's really all it is. Tippy's just tall. But yeah, much love, respect, and appreciation. Thank you guys a lot. Love you guys a lot. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. So remember, I will have a video up there for you guys at 12. And I'm just going to let the live stream, in a sense, burn up until then. And then the video will be posted. D-Money said, yeah, I'm doing this live stream. Oh my goodness, these comments are outrageous. Outrageous. Tippy said oatmeal cream pie cookies. I think that was like 90s type cookies, I think, if I remember correctly. I think I remember those cookies, I think. I remember the moon pies. Now I remember those. I used to love the moon pies. I remember those. Man, these comments are outrageous. Diabolical. And I just remember these comments are going to be seen on replays. That is some crazy work out here. Crazy work. Thank God Gail is not in here. Let me tell you, she must have went to sleep. Lord have mercy. Oh man. Some crazy work out here. Like I said, I love you guys. I love you guys a lot though. All right. Peace out.